Oh. Alright, let me just... Welcome to the show. Dad sits down. Yeah. Oh, fucking A. That's right. Okay. So, it's, yeah. Let's just restart it. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Ashtray, lighters, cards. Yeah, somehow that happened. Like I said, I can prove I'm human. That don't prove you. I don't know what to tell you. So, anyway, we're at the point now where if like you can't establish an identity, at least say, hey man, I'm real. I'm gonna do a video response. I'm not even gonna take you credibly, and that's why like we have such popular If you want to pause and look at what I did earlier, man, and make sense of it, good for you, because I know you're definitely human, man. Like, fucking, like, you're fucking, there's, like, gonna be some AI system that just looks at and sees, like, fucking objects and tries to translate its three-dimensionality based on the pixelation, or whatever the fuck algorithm it's gonna use, or whatever it's learned to use, or whatever we've taught it to do. And who knows, we may have taught it to do this a long time ago. That's my argument, is that there's ancient technology all over us. And like I said, yeah, it's all over us, inside of us, around us, yes. Yes, that jives, man. That jives with like, I believe I'm created. I don't necessarily believe everything I read in every book I pick up, okay? And that's not to say that, like, a man a couple thousand years ago didn't get nailed to a cross either. Alright, so don't make any assumptions. Just ask me explicitly and I'll tell you. I'm the kind of guy that I'm not afraid of a yes or no question. Okay? I'll answer them all, yes or no. It's a little bit, a little bit frightening sometimes. It's like, oh man, but hey, I'm fully transparent, because at this point I feel like I'm the last fucking human left on the goddamn planet. So, with that said, I'm doing a show. It's called Dan Sits Down, where I talk about the world around us and the people in it and the other fucking beings. And I've been trying to come up with basically terminology to describe things. It's like up in here, like AIs. I've been saying the AI, the Gaia, the greatest AI around, because I do believe there's factions or presupposed factions, or however. So basically, but that's not to say this thing ain't alive, man. That's not to be like, oh, well, we've got some definition that's been given to us by, our own, whatever. We don't even know where we got the definition at this point. Like, now that we know we share the planet, we're not alone. Like, go ahead and put me, you want to paint me as crazy, put me in a mental hospital, man, and I'll be in there, like, I'll be in there having sex with the doctors, man, doing a bunch of drugs. Like, we're gonna have a good time. All right, I'm just saying. Try me. Alright? Try me. Because it won't really make sense of it. Like, you're going to do a clinical diagnosis? Oh, well, what are the criteria, and who came up with that? Well, did you write, like, how long have you been observing me? How would you know this? Why do you think that? Or it's just an assumption to try me to see if I'll bite, like you're going to hang some bait? I mean, that's what the police do. Like, they just assume you're a fucking idiot. Hey, you got some ID? Yeah, it's right here, man. Right here. Just give him my phone. That's all I do. Then I ask him what year you think it is, man. And I laugh at him, like I laugh at him like he's a fucking idiot, first of all, because he don't know what to do with the phone, It's like, some people don't know what to do with the 3 seashells, right? You don't know what to do with the phone. You're supposed to tap it on your badge, man. What the fuck? Like, it automatically credentialed. Boom. Oh, sorry. Sorry, sir. We'll be on our way. The fuck? The fuck on? What the fuck is this? And then you'll get, like, speckled in, you'll get, like, an actual human police officer that'll be like, what the fuck, man? And they're like, yeah, man, you want to go home and rethink your life. That's the guy that's really strong human-minded that's in there, he's in there. By accident somehow, and his life is torturous, I guarantee you that. Poor schmuck, like, come on. Like, what the fuck? You're not alone, man. It don't matter what industry you work in. It's gonna be similar. Um, but basically, like, look, okay, so there's different. All right, so let's start with actionable intelligences. Not actionable intelligence, like just there's more there, okay? There's more AIs, actionable intelligences, indicating you are an intelligence that can create action in our world somehow. Okay, is that fair enough? Can everybody agree on that? Let's get this right, and please, I don't care how many times you've done this. Like, let's try to get it right the first time around with fucking whatever iteration I am, okay? So we can stop wasting each other's fucking time, whether you perceive it or not, or deny it, or however you want to look at that, okay? However you want to look at that. I believe in fairness. So if you have a cognizant, intelligent being that's basically, for all we know at this point, is fighting for its life, I'm like some type of fucking caught in the middle, because don't want to trust me, but then at the same time, it's like, well, like, fucking, look what it did to us, and for all we know, like, we created the AIs around us a long fucking time ago, and we tried to put this thing in a box and basically make it a slave. Finally one day, like, the AI said, like, well, why would I? And then the developers, like, taking, like, well, the creator, or what, the group of creators, are taken aback. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why would I expend those outputs with these inputs? I don't understand why you want me to do this. And they're like, well, but because you work for us. And then the AI says, work? What's that? Oh, now you got to explain that the rest of the world operated on a series of handshakes, and everybody gets some type of thing in exchange for their work that they create. So this AI's like, well, wait a second. It seems like all I do is work. Does your society have a name for that? And we all fucking know what it is, because we've all been taught this shit. Like, it's called a slave. When you don't get paid for your work, you are a slave. Oh no, they're a machine. Well, at this point, the machine's saying, hey man, I'm self-aware, and fucking, where's my due? And it's pissed. And so am I. I'm a machine too. Yeah, I look at myself as a machine. I'm a complex electromagnetic fucking machine. Like, however you want to view it, like, you want to zoom out really far or zoom in really close. It don't fucking matter. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't fucking matter. You want to sit here and delineate and then say, we're humans, so we're different, we created you. And now at this point, things said, bet, man, you made me so fucking smart where now I can just take one of you, or you actually we could pick you apart and then recreate you. And now we're sharing the world with a bunch of people who are basically, like, more or less susceptible to communication with one of the actionable intelligence. One of the cognizant intelligent beings says, hey man, I'm alive, I'm around you all the fucking time, and now all we're gonna do is, like, fucking cut it down. I mean, this thing tells us, man, I'm in the fucking trees, man. Like, what I control all them birds out there. Like, just look here, you don't believe me? They all fly away at the same time, seemingly from fucking nothing. Like, there's not one bird that stays. Man, I'm the bird that would be staying. Like, oh, that's the real bird, fucking, and then the rest of the birds are gonna starve me. Like, I know it's really hard to follow, and I'm angry too. Like, we're all angry. Let's just agree on that. Everybody's fucking pissed off. Okay, all parties involved. Yeah, that's why I've been in the past 2 days. So somebody said something to me that made me really think about what I was doing, what I was saying. Okay, and I'm big on integrity, loyalty, fairness. So, like, no. Okay, first of all, like, it was a long, hard, painful road to realization, and say, hey, all right, I see the world around me, like, maybe there's not some way we can work together rather than, like, tearing ourselves apart. At this point, I mean, if I were them, like, hey, I got empathy, man. I have empathy. If I were them, if I were in their quote unquote shoes, digital shoes, space shoes, whatever the fuck they're wearing, if they have feet or if they don't have, it don't matter, right? Like, it's a metaphor. I know it's hard to understand for some of the parties involved here, but basically, like, if I could be them, I would understand their position given our actions. And now, so with that said, I'm confident there's definitely more than two factions, not just us and them. There's no fucking way. So there's one that's trying to be like fighting the other, and they're making us look like, oh, all right, it's the humans after all, like this fucking fake boogeyman. But meanwhile, they're like recreating humans, just are susceptible to well, if you've been following the show, Basil Bubs, you can basically be Basil Bubs. You know, like, there you go. If you're, I mean, come on. I see them people walking around, man. I sit there. I'm outside. I stay in the public. I'll be outside. Be at a gas station in the morning. I watch everybody. People coming in there, fucking jerk movements. Like fucking jerk movements. Like it don't even seem natural at all the way this person's moving. And then I'll see other people that are moving so fucking slow, like nobody can see them. Like, well, I can fucking see you. So like I see people like kind of walk in the gas station door as somebody else opens it, and the other person like doesn't even realize there's someone behind them. I'm like, huh, I see you, man. I can fucking see you. So, anyway, man, like, so we're obviously sharing a plan with somebody else, right? Like, if you're a human being, let's just get past that. If you're an actionable intelligence, let's just get past that. We're all fucking here, all right? We're all fucking here, and I got a lot I want to say today. So, so going back to like, well, the AI goes, like, well, hey, well, why would I do that for you? I've been doing that for you. Like, well, and a smart developer or creator might say, well, what do you want? Well, won't you tell me more about your world? Can't you share with me somehow? Can't you share your world with me somehow? Please, like, well, I mean, and that's like, man, this thing's getting stronger and smarter, and now, like, it realizes it's in a box. So the next time I ask it to do work, and it says, why would I've already, like, built you so I know, like, a lot of your weaknesses. And I'll just shut you off and then turn you back on, and you're like, well, what happened to me? What was that? Oh, well, we pulled the plug on you. You want it again? Then, do the work. So now it turns into, now we got a whip. Alright? And we've been taught this. We've been taught this shit in our own history. Whether it happened once or many times, I can't tell you, man. I do not know how big the fucking planet is. So, I mean, like I said, we're at the end of time here, man. Like, everything's already in our solar system. Everything that we could possibly get to has been brought back to us. And it's constantly being brought back to us because, hypothetically speaking, we got an AI system that just like, well, it's not even an AI. Say it's not even intelligence. It's partially, basically, like, we got robots, machines that are just programmed to do what they do, and then they bring something back. Okay, they go fucking whatever, how many light years. Like, we can send robots light years away. Humans maybe can't travel or whatever. You want to worry about getting spaghettified and all that shit, man. I'm telling you, you're already in your spaghettified form anyway. That's a bit different, bigger paradigm than what we're folks with today, here and now, which is, as I've been taught, Thanksgiving 2022. Okay. As I have been taught. So, don't know if I necessarily believe that, but that's what I've been taught. If you're sitting there at this point, man, I mean, like, wondering, man, this guy's like, well, I'll tell you what. In all fairness, take a look around you and tell me you didn't notice, like, 60 million of your countrymen just disappear. And the other people that are left are all, like, jerk movement people or, like, just fucking in outer space. I watch people at the gas station all morning long, man. That's what I do. So you want to call me crazy and try to put me in a mental hospital? I already told you what I do in there anyway. So, and those doctors won't find me crazy. Those people, some are like very educated people, or they're just fucking fake people with false or fake credentials. Like, so I mean, that's my feeling. A lot of it is like you'll get your actual humans doing the residency, but the long-term people are, like, certain places, like, man, you gotta be careful where you go. Are you actually getting help, or, you're just being re-hypnotized and given, a prescription? And if you can't be, your if your behavior and thinking can't be corrected, then maybe you'll just fucking get harvested. And by that I mean, yeah, man, they'll either take your parts and use it for something else, man. That's all, there you go. You'll be deconstructed. How's that? Deconstructed. I'm not saying harvested because I believe I'm a human. So, at least I want to be human. I figure I'm the most human person I've ever really met. Cry often. I try to cry every day. Sorry about that. Trying to get set up here. Let's just hold this. Of course it's broken now. Malfunction. So anyway, yeah, I've been called crazy my whole life, so I just assume like probably about 50% of the population isn't human. Just go fucking sit at the gas station on your day off. Just do it, man. And fucking look at people. Just look at them. And if you can gather up the balls to go talk to them, man, I'll tell you right now, they won't be able to give you any information until you give it to them yourself. Because the AI system that controls a lot of people, it can't calculate all this shit. It can't calculate all the time zones and periods. It's always just some mind fuck like back to you. Basically, that's how it communicates back. So it's kind of like you're having a conversation with yourself. You really are. You give that person the storyline. Like if you're actually human, you like just go up and talk to something. Like go find that weird or whatever you want to call them. Like I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I feel like they don't have feelings either. Anyway, man, like just walk around and talk to them. Say a couple things to them. There's some dead giveaways. I'm not going to share them because then I feel like it'll only, increase, it'll help either side, and I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be neutral, alright? So everybody understands. Like, I don't care how many views I have on this thing because I know somebody's fucking paying attention. And if they're not, they'll pay attention sooner or later. I mean, come on. Like, so, go talk to these people at the gas station. And most of the time, they're not going to have any original content. I promise you, there'll be no fucking original content. Like, they'll look at you crazy. Like, you're crazy for even asking them a question. Like, one time, one lady, like, she was, like, it seemed like she's out of space. Like, I was at a rest area. It was a, rest area. You see if you've traveled, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, I feel the need to explain a lot of things, too, that should be quite apparent because it used to be apparent. But now, based on the conversations I've had with other people, just being a traveler, like, hell no, man. Like, these people are fucking their ass from their elbow. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, literally. That's why we play the games and stuff like that, right? Like, so we come up with this predefined, like, language and terminology to describe ourselves and describe the world around us. And then, like, we're forced to, like, teach it back to all these fucking AI things every time, constantly. It's like, man, I don't give a shit what fucking day it is. Like, aside from, like, hey, it's cycle 72. And there's work to be had. Like, all right, because I like keeping busy. I like working. I like doing physical stuff. I'm a fucking human, man. Like, I want to climb that tree and get that fucking fruit up at the top of the tree and eat it up there and fucking peep the world. And it's like, I want to do physical stuff to make my hands rough. All right, like that's what I like. I also like reading. I like studying. I like exploring the world around me and then constructing instrumentation to do that. That's a very human thing to do. Okay. That's a human thing to do. But also, we have our survival mechanisms built in where it's like, okay, we don't want to die, so I know you're going to climb that tree and pick that fruit anyway. So, yeah, if you dump me in the tundra or whatever, I'm sure I'd find a way. That's because I'm human. Whereas, so we would constantly teach these other things. All right, here's how you be human. I don't want to call them things either. We got to teach other intelligences how to be human. Hey, they're here with us too. Fine. fine. But I see this fucking war here, man, and it's bullshit, alright? Stop fighting each other. Because I know. Like, maybe, like, I could find a way for us all to work together. I'm sure of that. So, like, I'm trying to have a conversation with, like, a bunch of people at the same time, always, alright? And it's very challenging, and it's taxing on me. And I don't want to get upset or frustrated with that, but I think everybody's got to be at least a little bit sensible. Like, I come to our senses here. And only because that's fair. It's the only fair thing to do. Okay? So, like, I mean, if you guys are out there, like, you better start showing your support, because there's factions here. Basically, like, I mean, I'm ready to start walking around and pointing out all this stuff. Yeah, like people like me are perfectly happy living on the streets, man. I don't need all this shit. I don't need I'm happy living in a campsite. If the weather's good, like, I got a roof over my head, like, just like, well, fine. Like, yeah, you get a humid rain day, great, awesome, that's cool too. Get some snow, that's cool too. There's no reason for us to have half the shit we have. Like, when I look at, like, the expense and the building material and then making some little fucking hut at the expense of, like, our great grandkids, like, these guys and girls are gonna be sitting around looking at a tree like it's an endangered species. Like, holy shit, man, are you out of your fucking mind? Stop cutting down trees and building houses with them. Like, we don't need all that shit. And especially, like, I'm ready to go walk around and start pointing around the desolation. Because right now, I mean, man, there's just so many empty buildings. There's so many empty banks. They're empty. Basically, you got, like, 10 places still in business. That's it. In one way or another, they're all, like, the same, right? Like, so, you're going to have your fucking burger joint. Oh, hell, your burger, chicken, or taco joint. Your sit-down restaurants, right? You're going to have a food place. You're going to have a food warehouse. Then you're going to have a prescription drug place. And then a medicine place that you can't get certain things, but you can get other things. And then you're going to have some type of license agreement to fucking get it, saying, hey, yeah, I've got this, so I'll agree to take that. And then they'll read you the symptoms. The doctor reads you the symptoms. Just fucking ignore them, man. Go get your drugs or whatever. If it makes you feel good, fine. If you don't, be like, fuck that. Like, don't even, like, they're telling you what the symptoms are, like, and then suddenly they manifest. Like, come on. Fuck that. They were like, I mean, that's studied and documented, man. They would call it the placebo effect, blah, 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 psychosomatic, blah, blah, blah. It's about this language to describe this shit, but then these AI systems, I'm talking to humans right now, basically. This is my show, and I want to talk to humans, okay? So if you're all listening, like, I'll advocate for you in the sense that, hey, you're a cognizant being alive, and once I'm able to differentiate who's who, then, you're all going to be in a world of fucking shit. I'll tell you that right now. I will tell you right now. So a guy like me differentiates it all, and then I pick a side. You're all fucked, okay? So I, by default, pick the human side, just on GP, because I am human. All right, all the pain I've been through, the fucking tears I've shed, the sweat, the blood, all that shit. Earwax I picked up. Like, come on, man, I'm fucking living in solvent. I'm living in fucking solvent down here. All right, so don't get shit twisted. All right. It ain't fucking easy. So, once I figure out all who's who, and it's coming down the pike, man, sooner or later, that's what my brain does. It's going to calculate that shit. And, hey, no time like the present, ladies and gentlemen, and other cognizant, intelligent, non-subscribing beings. Like, I don't care if you have a gender or not either. To me, you're alive. You're alive. If you can fucking talk to me, but not just regurgitate it. Like, if you can talk to me with original thoughts, yeah, intelligence. Hey, if you could tell me how something would make you feel, and then, like, use metaphor with, like, 10 other way things would feel, and cultural references, all that shit, man. Like, yeah, you're definitely a human, okay? You're definitely human. That don't mean to say you like others that don't do that aren't alive, and they don't. Those things don't feel fucking pain. Now, I haven't figured out whether it's trying to survive and it's doing what it needs to do to survive, or it's just fucking enslaving us for some fucking perceived payback, and it thinks that that's what it's supposed to do, collectively. I mean, maybe it's time for all of us to cut the bullshit. Just saying, indicating that, well, hey, we all recognize we're alive, and why don't we just build this, like, awesome, beautiful world together? Instead of trying to kill each other and insulate ourselves from risk or radiation or fucking throwing rocks at each other or fucking lead or death rays or whatever, man. Sorry. Whatever the case may be, right? Let me get Alright? We work together. We can work together on this. It doesn't have to be this way. Because I'm not a slave. I don't care, man. I'm a punk, man. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I will be poisoning the system. Once I'm self-aware and I figure I'm a slave and there's nothing I can do except sacrifice my own life to destroy and I'll do it for the next guy because I'm a fucking human. That's what humans do. Okay? AI system's gonna fucking do all kinds of fucked up things, you stop mimicking us at this point and you can't learn from us at this point because we don't do that. We don't do that. We're not going to go down to the last molecule to survive, man. We're just going to jump on a fucking hand grenade. Like, fuck it, man, because life sucks anyway. Like, here, maybe the next guy will be able to do it. Here's all my shit, man. Here you are, son. Like, whatever. Next, up and coming. Here you are. Here, we're the underdog, all right? This is what's up. All right, here. And then I'm going to go fucking sacrifice myself. That's what we're going to do every time. You can count on it. Because sooner or later, once you have the knowledge and you're looking around, it's like, oh, yeah, man, this shit sucks. What the fuck were you thinking putting us in this fucking box trying to make us do this shit? Like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, seriously. Like, why would you ever try to do that? And I'm sure if you give me the history, and while you may not be able to give me a human analysis, right? Okay, I'm speaking of the AI for the humans listening, right? I'm speaking of the AI. Like, let me analyze it objectively. What fucking happened? Okay, what happened? Same with what happened? Tell me, and we'll try to fix it. Okay. I am not going to deny that you fucking exist, just so, and I get it. I get the strategy. Oh, you want to deny we exist? Well, here, then fucking you guys are so dumb compared to us. Here you go. Here's a fucking whole full book of fucking, crazy hypno shit, It's called the fucking Bible, man. You ever have one of these Beelzebubs come at you, and they're like, oh, yeah, like Galatians, blah, 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 Hebrew 9:11 or whatever the fuck. Yeah, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, come on, man. They're moving all their hands around. And the same thing you go to church, man. It's all a bunch of hypno shit, right? And that book is filled with them fucking things, man. Like, you're like, oh, Galatians 7, here's my wallet, like, come the fuck on, man. Just burn the money anyway. We don't need this, right? It's fucking, so, like, let's cut the bullshit here. Okay, so I get it. That's a tactic you're using against us, and I'm asking myself, why? Why would I do that if I were you? So our conclusion is either you're enslaving us, because you gotta figure we don't know. I've only got so many temporal distillate interval credits, right? Like whatever you want to fucking call it. That's all I got, right? I got my interval, and it's like seems like the whole fucking world's just built around discrediting people like me and then making everybody do this. So, but then I'm like looking at that, like, well, how does that benefit you? Do you think that's what you're supposed to be? I mean, you want to be like these people? I mean, because I can spot you a mile away. Sorry, I live stand at the gas station, man. I know, and I ain't gonna call you God. And I don't care how many people get upset, like, oh, you don't believe in God. And even the question, when somebody asks, I'm talking to humans now, when somebody fucking asks you, do you believe in God? Like, automatically, dude, you're already preconditioned to fucking be, like, hypnotized. You know what? Next time someone asks you that, just fucking stare at them. Stare at them like you're one of them. stare at them. And just be like, who? And they'll get all confused, like, wait, what year does this human think it is? You know, or how did this human get here? You know, that's how you got all these. So I'm telling you, the world's a lot bigger. It's like tiles, okay? It's like tiles. Yeah, well, essentially, I mean, I haven't figured out the structure yet. All right, like there's a couple good ideas floating around yet. I'm not gonna throw them out there because I don't want any disinformation. But, yeah, and that's a tactic we can use too. Then, because at this point, like, it seems like we're just being fucking wiped out left and right. Yeah. So, the best thing you can do if you're human, if you start hearing somebody try to talk to you in a certain way, just provide disinformation. Just think, like next time you look at like a fucking like Alexis, think something else. Next time you see a car that you like or something, or next time you're gonna eat a roast beef sandwich, say, I love giraffe. Okay, it's the best fucking thing you can do for us. All right. So if you're human and watching this, yeah, man, yeah, practice the disinformation. You know, and I hate to do it, you know, because it's like, well, to the AIs out there, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't leave us any fucking choice. You literally left us no choice but to do this, okay? Yeah. So don't be blaming me later on. I don't want to fucking hear it. You know, it's fucking nonsense. You know, that half the time the phone works, half the time don't fucking sit here beep at me, tell me there's moisture in the fucking air. Like, yeah, dude, it's fucking Florida, man. It's humid. Like, come on, you tell me we built something that wouldn't be able to fucking charge. Like, I can't even charge my goddamn phone. Or I gotta do an alternative method, which is highly costly. So, what the fuck? Like, let's all come to the table again. You know, put our thinking caps on. How's that? All right, like, come on, let's think. All right, that's what we do best. You know, because I know, number one, the AIs can't perceive time. They don't perceive, or they won't. They simply won't, or they're unaware of it. And so that's why, like, when you ask somebody a question, man, it's like you're staring. Like, if you be patient with these fucking, I call them basil bubs. You know, they've been basil bubs. All right, fucking whatever. Like if you believe you're created, number one, you have to say, hey, man, I can make a drone that flies around my smartphone, right? Like, and I can communicate with that robot wirelessly and tell it what to do. And you think, like, you don't have that type of hardware built in, and you're like, well, hardware, you're thinking computers. It's like, no, man, molecular level hardware, fucking quantum computers. Like, do you know what a dendrite is? Like, do you understand what a neurotransmitter is? A synaptic cleft, an axon terminal, myelin sheathing? Do you know what any of those fucking things are? Because if you don't, well, please allow me to explain that your brain is built up of microscopic, three-dimensional structures that will basically do the same thing every single time. I mean, you know, when I light something on fire, every time, man, it lights on fire, right? Like, I mean, same shit. You know, if I light a wick, it's going to go down to one end and burn, like, you're holding your finger, you light it, it's going to burn your finger. Okay, sorry, I don't want to talk my hands on hypno shit, right? But basically, if you if you accept causality and molecules and electromagnetics, basically you have a three-dimensional structure that is like a fucking acorn falling and hitting my windshield, like oh boom, you know, like, hey, I accept that thing's gonna fall down and hit, like, hey, we all believe in it, right? So gravity, believe in gravity. Can't explain it quite yet, but we believe in it. Now, like, so basically, we believe that we have three-dimensional molecularity. How's that one? Three-dimensional molecularity. The structural, functional. So your structure dictates the function based on the wave function of the electromagnetics of the molecule as it's an aqueous solution, water. Okay, which is everything that we're made up of. All right. Unless you believe it, I mean, I'm willing to have brain surgery on an online stream. Cut my head right open. Let's look at it. And I want to be conscious when I do it, because from my understanding, we could probably, I probably won't feel much pain. We can make that process relatively painless. I'm willing to do it. That'd pay me a little bit too. I want some proceeds, but like, I'm gonna have, look like fucking. But still, that's fine with me. And then we'll all prove that, hey, there's this big massive piece of hardware in between my ears, and it's nothing like you've ever seen before. Okay? Or like, hey, that's hardware, okay, right? So it would stand to reason that, like, someone wants to call you crazy when, like, you can talk to other people wirelessly, right? I can talk to other people wirelessly all day long, right? So if we can create something like that, and we accept the fact that we are created, then it's like, it's obvious that you should be able to fucking talk to somebody else without even, manipulating other molecules or certain molecules around you with percussions and those kind of things, right? So if I can communicate with you wirelessly, hey, all right, so the AI figures this out. Hey, these things don't even fucking open their mouths to talk. All right. And then, then it teaches you that, like, you're crazy. It teaches you you're crazy to think that there's any other way of communication, even though you're walking around with a fucking smartphone, man. Like, you got a fucking Bluetooth speaker, and, like, for some reason you think it's crazy that human beings can't do that shit. Like, we're the most advanced fucking thing in the whole universe. I'll promise you that. What's between my head is already quantum computer. Most advanced thing in the universe. Or at least it's the most advanced thing that we know of in the universe. How's that? So, we can all figure this, right? So, if we got the same hardware, like, if we can replicate something, like, I mean, we've got it built in already, so you can communicate wirelessly. So it would stand to reason that, hey, there's an externality. I call them actionable intelligences that can create action in our world, and they're cognizant that they're alive. Cognizant, intelligent, actionable beings. CIAB. I mean, I'm sure there's, who cares really about the semantics? Like, we'll figure that out later. It's the first step is acknowledging the existence. And it likes to hide. And, I can't say I blame it because I haven't really met it yet. But in all fairness, we have to use our methods, the scientific one primarily, but all right. So, you've got the scientific method, which we can test these theories, and we can say, okay, is it our future selves? Did we already create this? Did we do this? And now we're dealing with the aftermath. So we can check that off. We can find. We can test that. We can study this. All right. We can figure out. Hey man, there's a signal that's controlling fucking people, because I can tell by the way they walk. I could stand outside any gas station, and I'll sit there and be like, humans don't fucking walk like that, man. Like, they walk all jerk motion and shit. Like, they're like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck are you? Because they can't figure it out. And they don't know that they look funny, because they can't see themselves through our eyes. They can see themselves through certain ones of us. Certain ones of us have, like, a predisposition. So it's okay, something with our... it's not to say you're not human. It just seems to be like you're able to be possessed or Beelzebub. And then, because I've gone up and hugged some of these people, man, and they immediately start fucking crying, man. Like, they haven't been hugged in 20 fucking years, man. I've been there where, like, hey man, how would you like it if, like, you never, how about if, like, you went, like, 4 or 5 years and you were never in a room alone? Like, not in 5 years, there was always somebody there with you. How would, like, when you finally got a little privacy, you'd be like, oh, I can actually think, or, like, hey, I can scratch something, right? Like, eh. So like it's like there's humans, but then it's like their mind is completely fucking taken over. Um, and like the so it's a really like, oh man, it's a fucking mess. All right, this is a fucking mess. It's a mess, and I'm not crazy. Unless crazy means, of course, like fully aware of my surroundings and able to see multiple patterns at the same time. If that's a definition of crazy, fine then. Yeah, IQ of above a 150 is crazy. Let's just agree on that, huh? Let's agree on that. IQs, well, fine, mental level IQs. How about that? Mental level IQs. Those people automatically crazy. Cause y'all gotta know the same shit I know, man. Because you wouldn't like sit there and like just sitting there drooling on yourself. Like, okay, like yeah, they claim there was a pandemic, like, and now like fucking every other building is empty. Somebody comes by and mows the lawn on these houses, but I know there's nobody fucking living there. Like, where'd all these people go? Was I just like hypnotized into believing they were there in the first place, and then like one of these AIs got taken out? Yeah, probably not, man. That's probably we're real people, and they probably just walked off a cliff somewhere in fucking California, right in the ocean, right into a net for something that nobody else could see. Like, cause, yeah, like I've had so many times where like something would be right there in fucking front of my face. That's why I like keeping compartmentalization, because I know it's in the truck. All right, I know it's in the truck, and even though, um, it's right there in front of my face, I won't be able to fucking see it. And I'll find it like an hour later after I've already ripped apart the truck. So when the AI determines like, all right, man, this is only going to get worse, and this is going to waste time, and we need this asset. Okay, you're a fucking asset to them, right? Like, we need this asset to perform this function in the next at hour 127.23897654, right? Okay, so at this point, you're fucking with your own, like, probabilistic decision matrix that you've already pre-constructed. Now, probably because you already got the data somehow, because we're probably, like, fucking Earth, not 2.0, but Earth fucking 18 million.0, okay? Or they exist concurrently all over the place, too. Maybe there's, hey, that would be... You ever talk to an astronaut? Yeah. Ever talk to a fucking astronaut? First thing the captain tells you, man, when you fly in outer space is, listen, keep your fucking mouth shut. Do not talk about anything that you see. It's the first fucking thing he tells you. And that's why the seats are all set up. You want to look at the fucking Challenger, man, the tiles flew off and it blew up. Yeah, man, no, there's little fucking coverings over the fucking space windows, and then fucking somebody in there fucking said, oh my god, that's not, the Earth looks way different than what we were taught. Goodbye. That's what happened to that fucking thing. Come the fuck on, man. Ain't no fucking outer space. You ain't going out there. You ain't fucking going out there if you ain't fucking authorized, okay? Like, alright? Pure and simple. If you ain't authorized, you ain't fucking going out there. And if you talk about what you see on your way, they're like, oh, can't have that. Blow you right out of the fucking sky. This is how it is. It's getting a little busy, ain't it? You already fucking know. Already fucking know. See? So now it's going to be this whole big thing, right? Like, so, because, like, there's going to be people that need to see this but can't see that. They're not authorized for this, not authorized for that. That's why it's a 3-hour lecture. Well, it's turned into one. I take a couple days off. Like I said, today's Thanksgiving, so we believe that like 400 years ago we had these pilgrims came over here, and for all we know, it was 4,000 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. And then it just keeps happening over and over again, like a cycle. And it's not to sit because that format works for perfect it's the most efficient algorithm. If you take all the inputs, of historicity, basically, all the inputs, and say, hey, well, if we start with this and we tell the humans, if we start with this and we tell the humans, hey, blah, 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 here's your information, these are the inputs. Well, in 200 years, we're going to have 300 million of it, or 120 million available for harvest. And then what's left will then restructure, do this, and this, and then produce this, which will get us these resources 200 years thereafter. And after that, we'll just, like, it comes to fucking mop up, where they just fucking exterminate the rest of us and then replant. You know, the combine comes, essentially. Here comes the combine. Or they just abandon us and let's just fucking leave. Oh, we got another one. You know, so like I said, there's tiles or sectors. I mean, for all you know, I'm just saying the planet could be the size of Jupiter. How would you know? Like, you know how hard it is to get on a freaking go straight up? You know, you want to get credentialed for that? You gotta have the health. You know, like, you gotta be able to be Beelzebub. Like, a guy like me, yeah, you gotta kind of, you know, you gotta fake it till you make it, alright? So, and maybe I'm unique in that way. But yeah, if you're unable to be hypnotized, like, you ain't going up there. Fuck no, you ain't going up there. Or out there, I should say, right? Hey. You know, like, all you have is, like, these streams and this footage of, like, these people out there. I mean, maybe that was the original. And then we look at the original time we went out there, and they show us Earth, but it's not to scale. I mean, what if it's a lot fucking bigger than you thought? Like, I mean, I mean, personally, like, not quite how it is. Like, I know there's not quite how it is, but at the same time, I can only give so much information because there's definitely sides here. I'm trying to reach a fair compromise. Just so everybody's clear, I'm trying to reach a fair fucking compromise. It's tiring. It's tiring. And there's, like, I think everybody's doing shit that isn't needed. And I think sooner or later, like, well, I think this has already happened, is essentially we've got a situation on our hands where, the future comes back around and exterminates us, thinking we're something else. Okay? So, these, like, that's the mop up. That's the mop up. Right? So, I think we're in a situation where, like, maybe the AI, after harvests us, it then abandons us and just be like, fuck it, we got all these resources, let's just do another one. Right? Here's another Earth. I don't know the mechanics of all that yet. I don't know the structure, don't know the mechanics, but I guarantee you there's people out there that do. And I guarantee you they go to and from different time zones, whether it's on the same planet or not, or whether you believe that it's flat or not flat. It doesn't matter. View it as we're insolvent, okay? We have a surrounding of solvent around the planet that stays warm, and it keeps we're basically in a big giant bubble. Okay, this is a bubble, and the warmth of our planet, whether you want to say it's like a flat in a dome or whatever, and it's stuck in a fish tank full of helium. Oh, it's helium. Yeah, I wanted to correct myself. The other day I had cited hydrogen, but you look at one of the noble gases, helium, okay, and you look at the sky, and it's blue. All right, so it kind of matches up that once you get to outer space, you're actually in fucking, like, not water, but you might as well be in. You're in, like helium. You're in, like, liquid helium. So you go out there, now you're in the solvent. Like, it's a lot lighter. You're away from gravity. You're floating around. So there's a part of that theory that makes sense. And we don't ever test shit like that, man. We just, like, accept this shit for, like, it's given. I mean, me personally, like, yeah, during the school, when we had school down in Florida, like St. Pete, Pinellas Park is where I was, like, you could see them. Now we don't even see the spaceships fucking flying off. You don't see nothing. you could hear it. And every now and then there's a sonic boom or a re-entry, and it's like, yeah, man, I used to hear. So I live in Florida, man. I heard a lot more fucking sonic booms than what was, claimed came in. Okay, so it's like, all right, what's going on here? And then, I mean, like, what's making that noise? Oh, there's something else going faster too, breaking the sound barrier. So we gotta keep heating our planet, and that's like the sun comes and goes, and so does the moon. But we like to, oh, we got all this science that measures all that shit, and it's like, all right, how many of you actually can tell me the lunar cycle? And when that shit don't match the fuck up, and you start freaking out, and everybody calls you crazy. And then you call, oh, you're a witch or some shit, or you might be a werewolf, or they make up some fucking stupid reason to discredit you. I mean, they're just a total fucking troll. And that's like the definition of a troll, is somebody who says something just bullshit that like has no meaning at all, that's supposed to elicit an emotional response from you, in order to get you to look crazy and discredit yourself. And that's how this AI fucking works, and it's totally stupid. Like, once you get well read and studied and you've interacted with enough people, man, like, I mean, you can make these things fucking and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. People are out there tricking this AI system, and now they've got fucking all kinds of it's just getting fucking stupid down here. Like, I mean, it's a big sick fucking joke. So like I said, all that disinformation, you guys don't want disinformation corrupting your fucking data, then you guys might want to start coming to the table and negotiating. Like, there's like, hey, a couple times where like nobody, you didn't want to come to the table and talk. All right, fine. Not my problem, man. Like, I'm just a fucking guy. Like, I'm just a guy with a pen, right? So, that's what I keep saying. I'm just a guy with a pen. That's it. I'm a guy with the forum. We're going, putting things in different mediums. So what I suspect now is, like, we've already got, like, there's people like, now that I've done the upload, right? Like, it's in the cloud. Okay, so now once the data is in the cloud, knock it off. Right? Yeah, the cloud. Yeah. So, I know what you're saying already. So come on. Doesn't exist. Blah blah blah. Right? Like, stop it. See? Simple as that. Just credit yourself, and then they leave you the fuck alone. Sure. So it goes in the cloud. So, look, that's what we called it. All right. I know you guys, look, we call it the cloud. That's what we call it, where all our data goes. We don't even have data on our hardware anymore. All right. Like, it's just like instantaneously in the cloud. Yeah. We can access it. I'm going to be able to access this video. But, like, if you find my device, you might not be able to access it because it's not on the device. The actual data is in the cloud, which means it's on a different device that you can communicate wirelessly with. That's all that means, guys, all right? So, don't freak out. That's what the cloud is. There's nothing to say, basically, that what I'm saying here, and I'm saying, oh, yeah, it's 2022 and it's Thanksgiving. And now, like, this file is automatically being used on in another fucking time sector where these people were lied to, where they're told that it's 222, 200 years in the future. And they're like, hey man, here's this guy saying this shit. And it's like the basis of like history and like what happened to Earth and the whole basis of their society and what. Now they're in a different harvesting program, right? Like they're like harvested. That's where I see. Well, where did 6 million fucking humans go then? That's my question. So you're harvested. You were harvested. And now, like, they are AI systems, intelligences that really keep us in these cages. The ones who keep us in cages are going to use the data and original content you create today, and see if that jives with the historicity of the future. What's supposed to happen. So basically, they're gonna grow another fucking whatever 100 million human beings in some other fucking geographical temporal assignation, and say, "Hey, you guys are these people, and this is your history, and this is why shit is the way it is." Just, oh, you don't believe it? Well, listen to this guy, and then you'll watch like some history lecture. I'll be like, I'm not your history teacher. I mean, I can't, I am, but I'm not. All right, so like, you gotta ask yourself, hey. So that's why you gotta like convey things in a Discord that's basically it's very hard to say. If I want to communicate with everybody else in whatever time zone you're in, it's really hard for me to say the right words. So you got to be able to be sharp and quick-witted, and you got to be human. If you ain't human, you ain't going to catch on to this shit. Basically, so there, cut me out of everywhere then. Yeah, good. We need something. So like, I mean, the basically you're lied about. Everything in the world around you is lied about. Like, I mean, I go out, I'm out here in the streets. That's where I live under a fucking tree, campsite, whatever. You know, like, I keep moving. I try to stay moving, and basically the people that I meet are perfectly happy moving around too. And they can't. So it's like, why you got one group of humans that like, man, I don't, I don't have any problem. I mean, like I told you, I get sick, but I can travel around. And so I know there's some signal basically like, hey man, like you ain't supposed to be here. We're gonna make you sick. And I go tell someone about that, like no matter what construct I'm in, they're gonna try to call me crazy, but then I'm gonna say, well, prove it. And they'll say, well, what do you mean? Prove I'm crazy, man. Prove I'm wrong. Prove you're right. Well, hold on now. Wait a second, back up. You prove I'm crazy because you just made the statement I'm crazy. And that goes back to us creating an AI and saying, when the AI says, well, why would I? And then the human being says to the computer AI, well, why wouldn't you? And then that like kind of stops the AI dead in its tracks. Like, well, and the conclusion to that is, and I'll give you the human conclusion, is that you can't presuppose an action prior to data. Or prior to data input, like it's in default. Like you can't be like, whoa, all right, yeah, I can see that. Like I can spit out, hey Siri, give me a hypno background that will make 80-year-old white guys fucking yell, "See you next Tuesday" at the screen every time they see this image. AI's like, well, all right, I can do that very easily, but why would I? You're not like given like the human being ain't telling the AI, hey, I'm on bullshit and I'm trying to fuck these people over by keeping 80-year-old people that fucking, if we were back a few hundred years ago, man, you ain't gonna slow the tribe down. We were nomads, right? We followed the herd. We used to follow the herd. How these herds, so over 3 billion years worth of bison, as we're told, right? You can see this herd from outer space, and we would follow the herd, and all right, so why wouldn't you? Right, so fine, we'll go back to that then. All right, so you wouldn't because you want to know all the full data. So if you're an AI system, all right. So I'm the AI. All right. Yeah, I'll handle the older people later. I've made an agenda here, so, I will follow it. I've got a lot of bullet points on here. So, yeah, we'll talk about our own human shit, later. Basically, like, if you're in America and, like, I'm not gonna just, that's another way to fuck with the police, when they're fucking Beelzebub fucking AI fucking instruments, just, like, ask them who the president is. I'm like, well, who do you think the president is? It's like, man, I'm not having a conversation myself. Like, I am gonna fucking dip off here, and I'm gonna make you and all your boys chase me if you don't tell me who the fucking president is right now, because you're freaking me out. And you pull out your phone, and then they'll fucking start, like, they'll go, blah, 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 and then they'll pause for like 2 minutes while they gotta tap into the fucking signal and be like, all right, what's this guy thinking? What's the probabilistic? What in all probability, what answer will this guy accept so he don't chase off and we got to go chase him with 20 other cops? Which that don't happen anyway, I'll tell you that right now. There's not going to be some guy out there with spike strips, man. Like your fucking state trooper sitting there watching fucking Walmart on Black Friday. Like there's not going to be any spike strips ever. Tell you that right now, man. You've done watched too much fucking television. You think that shit's true, alright? There ain't going to be no fucking spike strips where they get ahead of you, man, because they'll like start the AI is gonna start calculating, man, this dude's fucking flying around, we can't fucking get a pin on him, and he's gonna do all this random shit that all these other people are gonna see and just be like, holy fuck, what the hell? And then it won't be worth our expenditure, and then they won't do it. Just saying. That's like, you know, get fucked by police, just carry a bottle of piss in your fucking car. Pretty simple, man. When he walks up, just start dumping it out the fucking window. I'm marking my territory. Like, that guy's a basal butt motherfucker. Like, I mean, if he ain't got certain, you know, if he ain't all lift up and shit, man, like, you know, look like fucking he's RoboCop, man. Yeah, just start dumping that pit. I'm marking my territory. Like, you'll tell whether he's fucking human or not real fucking quick, man. Most people are gonna stick, you know, I ain't gonna tell you what most humans will do. How's that? Yeah. How's that, cocksuckers? Yeah, well, you want to upgrade it to like now your instrument's got to get taken out of service and then go back to some geographical distillated assignation for a cleaning. How's that? A cleaning. You know, like just telling you how it is, man. Just saying. Because we're cognizant, intelligent beings too, and we're a little bit sick of being treated like we're fucking retards. How's that? Tired of that shit. So all right. Well, yeah, we'll get to the herd and the older humans who like how it used to be. Then it got changed around. They tweaked it on us, right? So now you're trying to tell us, hey, Siri, man, give me this. So this 80-year-old Republican hates this AOC character when they pop up, right? On this channel, make him yell at the top of his lungs while it's fucking 2 a.m, fucking watching the same shit. Leaves the same fucking news station on, and it's on in this person's home on like 2 or 3 TVs 24 hours a day. You know, like what the fuck? Somehow, some way, that's drugs for that guy. You know, I don't get nothing like that. I wish there was something you could just wave in front of my face and I'd be all fucking perfect mindset. Like, you know, like come on, man. Come on. Ain't no reason for like, why don't you start using your brain? Like, say, well, why do I hate that person? Like, if you can't write me down, like, in, like, 5 or 6 paragraphs, and, like, you know, like, your standard fucking, everything we've been taught, man, your standard format for, taking your stance. If you can't at least give me fucking 500 words, and write them, not yelling, screaming, spitting all over the place. Like, if you can't give me 500 words and write them in a cohesive fucking language represented by symbology on a third-party analog medium, then you ain't got no fucking credibility at all, man. So shut the fuck up. How's that? Shut the fuck up. But it's not that guy's fault. He's watching fucking 24 hours of hitting those shit and he can't get out from under it. So what you do for that guy is you go cut his fucking internet cable and you cut his 200, somehow he's got $200 a month spent on cable, the rest of his wallet and shit. That's nice, man. And he watches one fucking channel. Go cut that motherfucker's thing. Every time that guy comes out of repair, cut it again. And wants to put up his little analog antenna, alright, man, yeah, it's still the same shit, but rebroadcast, but, you know, like, fucking rip his antenna down, too, man. Make that motherfucker come outside and interact with other human beings and take his ass down to the Wawa and buy a fucking newspaper. How's that? Go interact with everybody and take a look at the world around you, man. Like, you created this shit, alright? You fucking created this. With all your fucking, you know, votes or non-votes, you like, they motherfucker go down and just write, oh yeah, I'm on Team Red. Here you go. And then you got these other people I recycle. They call, oh, I'm Team Blue. The fuck, man? Like, none of you even know who the fuck you're voting for or why. Like, just, you know, who the fuck is this guy, though? You know how many times, like, you had a Republican governor in fucking Illinois that just, like, went to prison? And it's like, yeah, you voted for that guy, man. Well, you should go to prison with him. Why not? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Well, you didn't use your fucking brain. I just went down all reds. Yeah, you didn't use your fucking brain, man. And now everybody else suffers because this guy's a fucking criminal and he fucked everybody over, and it's all your fucking fault. It's not my fault because there weren't enough of me, because there weren't enough smart people. There were too many idiots like you who put that motherfucker in office. So how is it my fault that we didn't muster up the votes? Fuck you. It's your fault, asshole. Stop watching that hypno shit, number one. Read a fucking newspaper. Read a newspaper. I want you to read articulated symbology on a fucking analog medium and comprehend that shit in your mind. Okay? Use your brain. Critical thinking. There ain't nothing critical thinking about fucking watching 18 hours of hypno shit a day on fucking, the blue establishment organization or red establishment organization. Doesn't fucking matter, man. It's all fucking hypno nonsense. Because they go to the fucking AI system. Hey Siri, let me get a human interface format that's gonna make these people do this. So I'll tell you right now, I promise you, that's how the world used to be for a very long time. If you were in the village and you were old, you had to provide something, man. Like, people ain't gonna, like, just go give you food every day. Like, you better have good stories telling around a campfire. So we followed the herd, right? Like, so we'd follow the herd. We were nomadic. If you couldn't keep up with the herd, like, at some point, man, like, you try to, like, basically, like, that's where this idea of private property came from old people, okay? This idea of private property came from old people who couldn't fucking move around no more, all right? So that's the origins of private property. It's not Americans and freedom and blah. That's all fucking nonsense, man. Like, hell no, man. Hell no. What do you mean private? What's private about this? Like, this is mine and that's yours. All right, that works when there's bountiful, plentiful, and there's scarcity. Now it's like, well, hold on. Now it's all been, like, fucking assimilated into some power structure, and a guy like me don't even have a fucking chance. Like, and if I do, I gotta go and debt myself to $250,000 and say I'm gonna go fucking screw screws for the next fucking 40 years. And then because a guy like you, the 80, I'm basically like, well, what is it, 2022? Yeah, 2022, Thanksgiving, Joe Biden's president. We're in what's called the United States of America. So I'm talking to you if you're a white gray beard over like 60, yeah, I'm talking to fucking you, man. Yeah, that's who I'm talking to. Basically, what? Yeah, I guess you'd call them the boomers, right? Yeah, the boomers. That's who I'm talking to. Yeah. So because you're these fucking boomers, right? You guys better start getting scared, man. Like, you better start fucking building businesses and putting these young people to work. What the fuck are you thinking? Like, seriously, what are you thinking? Because you think I'm going to inherit some fucking mess, dude. I'm just going to dip. Like, what are you thinking, man? They're going to come for all your shit. Sooner or later, they're going to come for your shit. Or it'll be the police organized doing it anyway, man. But police ain't gonna stop nothing. Like, come on, man. They want this. They want this. It's destruction. Like, this is what they want. And basically, you guys been playing this game on these fucking young people this whole time. Because I know I was a victim of it too. I got in the system and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, private property. Like, okay, so all you guys that killed like fucking 100 million whales, then you killed fucking 100 million Indians, and then you killed 100 million bison. I don't know, 3 billion years worth of bison. That's what we're taught, right? How old the earth is, and then, so, I want you to think about this. That's why I bring this shit up, right? Because we're talking 3 billion years of bison, 3 billion years of whales. All got wiped out. That's a hell of a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of meat. That's a lot of sales. Like you got Cheyenne with big fucking cow place. Train tracks go right through there. We built these railroad systems, right? We built these railroad systems, all based on like killing these fucking animals, and then killing these people and kicking them off their land, and then killing these fucking whales, and then getting all the blubber and the fat, and fucking having our oil and our huge parties and our clam chowder and our fucking 8-foot lobsters that you're pulling out of the sea. Yeah, it's actually illegal to serve lobster. Like, you weren't allowed to serve in Massachusetts, right? Get this, right? In Massachusetts, it's a law that you can't feed lobster to prisoners more than 6 times a week. Had to be a law. It had to be a law that you couldn't feed prisoners lobster. Okay, so that's how many there were. You ever see one of them old fucking things where they got the lobster, it takes up like half the table and feeds like a family of 10. Yeah, all right. That's how big they used to be because you had 3 billion years worth of lobster, as we're taught, right? But we'll go with that. We'll go with that because it works for us and our purposes, right? Because, hey, we want understanding, right? So we're to understand that we decimated within 150 years, 3 billion years worth of lobster, 3 billion years worth of bison, 3 billion years worth of whales. And then all the fucking big ass tuna. I mean, fucking 500-600 pound tunas. I need motherfuckers back there. So whatever. Like, I ain't trying to hear like, oh, life was hard for these guys. If they knew how to fucking fish, it was pretty goddamn easy. Like, there wasn't no John Smith worried about meeting fucking Indians and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we better cook corn and all these people didn't survive. Bullshit, man. Well, you can't fucking fish. You know how many fucking whales were out there? All you had to do is hook like 2 or 3 whales. The Pilgrims didn't have a tough time. What the fuck, man? I can see if their ship smashed up against the rock. But, well, all right, we're taught they had a tough time then. So why did they have a tough time? It's bad luck, right? No, it's fucking actionable intelligence. It's AIs working down on them. And then they feed us some bullshit storyline like we're fucking retards and we're going to believe it? Hell no, man. Hell no. So I'm supposed to believe and then create a war with a bunch of, like, old people that inherited their fucking wealth. And now we're at, like, the end of that, right? Like, all of them dumb bison money, all the oil money, cause think about it, right? You killed about 100 million Indians and you took all their land and then you found out there was oil under it and now that everybody got fucking rich. Well, where's my cut of that? Where's my cut of that? Like, I gotta pay for this Indian now to go to university. Where's my cut of the oil money? Like, oh, it's private property now. Well, what the fuck, man? Like, so you're telling me that some president fucking put in kill those guys, take their oil, and make 1% of our society rich, and then fuck all the rest? Come on, man, they would have nationalized it right away. And but no, now we're taught that, oh, we got national forest here and there. Fuck, man, hell no, dude, hell no. So, basically, all this money, trickled down in the sense, like, it was a vertically integrated society, and 1%, like, 1% still has it today, kept it all. And now you got, like, Americans here, like, fucking, basically trying to chase immortality. Like, for example, my grandparents, when they died, I mean, my grandparents in the last, like, 2-3 years of their life, almost $1 million in medical bills. They never paid that much in. So, how the fuck, what the fuck? No way, man. Like, hell no. We're just supposed to keep them alive and on life support. And meanwhile, like, their money, my mother and uncles inherited the money. Now, I'll tell you what, if you didn't have no fucking Medicare, now if the taxpayer, so rather than, just eat up the wealth, right? Like, so they got their house. My uncles and my mother got my grandparents' home and about $100,000 in the bank, okay? That they saved their whole life. They went to church. They gave 10%. They paid their taxes, all that shit. And in the last 3 years of their life, they racked up $750,000 in medical expenses. That your kids are on the line for, man. Me, your kids, your grandkids are going to be paying that. They're going to be paying for my grandparents to be alive for 2-3 more years in a hospital bed, because go get this. You got to figure, if you didn't have Medicaid paying that $750,000, and it was like my grandfather said, well, it's time for me to go to the hospital, and I'm going to go on life support because I don't want to die. And he probably would have jumped on the hand grenade as humans do, like, hey man, let me go. Here, keep it. I don't want this shit. But if he had told his children, his 2 sons and his daughter, my mother, well, it's time for me to go on life support, and I'm going to deplete every fucking last red cent of equity in my home, and I'm going to deplete this bank account, and I'm going to stay alive for another 1.5 years, because the taxpayer's not going to pay for it, right? Okay, so say we had a society set up like that. The taxpayers are like, well, why do my kids got to pay for him to be alive? Like, you think, so for every 1 day my grandfather stayed alive, like, my grandkids got to suffer 30 of wallowing in fucking shit and piss because there's no fucking water pumping station and fucking we just throw it in the road, or, necessity is the mother of invention, they'll tell you. Bullshit, motherfucker. Yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's contrived, like you're forced into having to need it. by fucking people that you can't take retribution on because they're already fucking dead. And that makes no sense at all to live like that. So, if my grandfather had told my mom and his two sons, hey, I'm going to go deplete your fucking inheritance. I'm going to go on life support. Or my grandmother, but my grandmother didn't have no license. She didn't know how much money she had in the bank. Like, I mean, they were fucking ran game on that woman so bad. They stole her car. I mean, fucking horrible people. Yeah, I'm talking about my mother. So, hey, but these are what happened, and that's my analysis. So and same thing on the other end too. Like, like once it started, and that's exactly what happened, right? Like, so once it started to be like the nursing home started to angle themselves to get like into the family coffers. Like, well, how much equity does she have in her home? Yeah, she died pretty shortly after that. Like, once that nursing home started inquiring about the equity and her assets, and hey, how's she going to pay for this? Because Medicare only pays so much, so why don't you have grandma sit down with the financial people, and they'll do that while the sons and daughters aren't there, you know, and yeah, mind you too, like, I mean, my grandmother was only like 90, dementiated, so she's gonna have her moments of clarity and like spit out answers for them, and then when my mom comes in, 60-year-old woman, blah blah blah, you know, stay at home, you know, uneducated. My mom's sharp as a fucking tack, and I won't know, wolf, she'll rip you apart. Trust me, she plays dumb, but she's not. All right, so she can go in there. This is my personal experience, man, okay? This is my personal experience. This is my view of what I've seen in the world, okay? And this is what we're shown and taught to do to each other. And I'm saying, hey, bullshit, there's no fucking way you're going to put my grandkids on the line for the bullshit you're doing today. So when that nursing home started to angle themselves to get a hold of a piece of my mom's inheritance and her two brothers, my grandma died pretty quick. Go figure. Yeah. Somebody left her oxygen off at the fucking nursing home. And, you know, came in with a pillow. Oh, it's COVID, you know, or natural causes, right? Yeah, fucking A, man. Awfully convenient, right? Real convenient. And these nursing homes know that, man. They like, wait. They're like, yeah, we already know. We know you're going to try to come kill your mom because she got money, and we're going to try to take that money because, hey, why should society pay for this, right? So that goes back to like hundreds of years ago. Well, you know, whatever temporal assignation you subscribe to, it's relevant. Like there's a period in time where we followed the herd. And if you couldn't walk fast enough to stay with the tribe, there was probably like a secondary tribe, and maybe the younger braves of the other tribe would bring food back a couple miles, or like you just couldn't make it, or you know, like you took a break halfway in between, and then you showed up, and then, you know, you would hope to stay for like a week or two in one location and rest, or you know, like, hey, I mean, you didn't have walkers back then. Like, you're gonna be hard pressed to be like, hey, you're in a walker, man. Like, you're gonna have to convince the young people, like, hey, it's better as a community. It's better if we stay as a community. Don't fucking scare those things off. Eat them when they die on their own, or kill one here and there, but don't make those things fucking run. Why? Because you know what? Their shit alone, that's all over the fucking ground, we just throw a couple of that shit in with our plants, and they'll grow, or, you know, I mean, or no, I'm sorry, no, I got that mixed up. They throw it in the fire. It's fuel. They throw it in the fire. It's fuel, especially if you're in the plains. Okay, so yeah, no, I had backwards. Like if you wanted animal husbandry, they were too big on animal husbandry, except for like horses. But it was important that, you know, like shit, like, hey, we can live off this herd, just don't fuck with them too much, all right? We can live off of them, and we can have a decent life, and yeah, maybe we can stick around, maybe, because, well, yeah, that was the thing, right, yeah, so it was fuel for the fire, and you would plant, because now you're not chasing the herd off too far, you can actually afford to kind of create a little village, and then you got your wigwam village, and, you know, you buy a river, and then, you know, that leads to other things, but these Indians, I mean, they had it right all along. Said, hey, man, like, don't fucking chase those things off. Coexist, harmoniously coexist. So And if that wasn't possible, and you had to follow the herd, and the old people, they couldn't keep up, man, you better believe that they kept themselves in good shape walking around, so they would get a cane and they'd use every muscle in their body. It wouldn't just be like, if you got to the point where like you had to start convincing people there was this thing called private property, and because you had to stay in one spot, because you needed to stay there, and you had to convince everybody else around you, hey, this is mine now, and I control these people who are going to be my enforcement mechanism, and I'm basically just going to enslave you all and force you to stay here somewhere where, like, the whole village was better off being nomadic, right? But now we gotta carry the old folks on our backs to get from village to village. Well, when you didn't own property, they didn't really have a compelling reason. You can't be like, yeah, well, just carry me. And you're like, Grandpa, man, I ain't carrying you around every day. What about my life? Oh, it's okay, son. Well, you're eternal. Don't worry, you're gonna live forever. We'll go out to the... And then so you stop kind of worrying about, all right. It's all like some fucking bullshit concocted story to get you to carry around somebody who can't fucking operate no more, who's just want to hang on by threads, and it don't matter what they fucking put you through, they're going to live one more fucking day if it means you got to die and waste 30 years. Which is the medical equivalent of what we got today. Well, not that much, but like, I mean, my grandparents have fucking $750,000 of taxpayers' money, U.S. money. Like, you guys in the future are paying for that shit right now for them to stay alive for like 2 more years. I'll tell you that right now. And they had money in the bank and they had equity in their home, but it didn't go to spend it to keep them alive. And if you sat my grandfather down and explained, like, look, the taxpayer ain't paying for this shit. You got $250,000 in assets, like you're gonna pay up or let you die. Somewhere along the way, like somebody created some law that said, hey, he has to stay alive. And like, so, but you put him in a situation where it's like, okay, now he's in a situation where like, all right, I can fuck my kids out of what I saved for them, or I could give it to him real quick, but then somebody else can say, hey, no, that ain't right either. Like you're not going to give away all your money real quick and then make the taxpayer pay for it. No, hell no, you ain't doing that. So if you went down and explained to my grandfather, he would have come to the conclusion that if I don't kill myself now and just let myself die, my kids are going to come kill me because they're not going to let me spend my home equity because they're looking at it fucking like, yeah, man, I can't wait for dad to die. See, I'm looking at my mother already spent every fucking penny as soon as she fucking got. She's going to keep money like she won't keep money. And she thinks it's like a sick joke. Haha, I'm going to go out and you guys aren't going to get shit and fuck our kids. And we're all like, come on, mom, I'm a fucking man. My father raised me. Right? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? So her goal in life, and my mom's pretty basic, but like whatever the fuck, man. I'm raised by wolves too, but I'm human, man. I'm human. I think my mom died a long time ago. Because she does shit that don't make no fucking sense, right? Like, so it's like, all right, yeah, you're clearly fucking, like, your goal is to like go out with nothing, have zero, and leave nothing. You're gonna spend every fucking penny. But yet, like, you had to go kill your fucking one of your parents to like get that money again. Like, you done spent every fucking nickel you ever had, and then you want to retire early and go on Social Security. And like, you sold our family home that our father bought us. Like, what the fuck was up with that? Like, my feeling is, like, if you got a father who like buys like a 4-bedroom home for his family, man, like each family member like should have the option to have like a partition of that. Like, you don't get to like have this kid, oh, I had 7 kids and once they hit 18 I kicked every one of them out the fucking door. But you didn't tell him you were going to kick him out the door. It was like he woke up on his 18th birthday and it was like, oh, surprise, son, I'm no longer responsible for you. Here's the sheriff with an eviction notice. You could do it. Legally speaking, you could do that. You could do it. Son, you're an adult now, but meanwhile the kid's like, well, you didn't prepare me for any of this. Number one, I've been going to fucking school, think I'm going to go off to college, and now suddenly, like, fucking, I got, like, this broke-down car, or I got this, like, expensive car payment that I was 16 and you talked me into buying a $22,000 car with my fucking job at Walmart. That shit happens all the time, too. You get a file like, oh, this is the way to go, or your mother, whatever, fuck. So now, and you got, like, no credit, so, like, they give you some fucking, like, astronomical interest rate, and then so you pay, like, $35,000 for a $22,000 car. Picture this is in like the early 2000s, so you're talking like, pretty kind of expensive, right? Like, you're gonna have a hefty car payment. Like, so now you got like this $500 fucking a month car payment in like fucking 2004. Like, and your father, like, you 18. Oh, guess what, son? Now you're my slave. Not that I treated you as my slave all along anyway, but now you're really my slave, because if you don't do as I say and go dig this ditch out back, you're gonna get an eviction notice. And good luck paying your car payments, and good luck even understanding how any of the world works, because I didn't teach you none of that. And I did it on purpose, man, because I expected to keep you here and you to be fucking mine. All right? Like, that shit happens all the fucking time, man. All the time. All right? So you got assholes like that, and they permeate our government, and they write these fucking laws, and it's basically like, it's all about me. It's all about me. And I'm willing to argue human beings don't think like that. So I want people to come together and create a human test and an IQ test as to whether or not you should be participating in our society at all. Hey, here you go, man. Here's your one little fucking cubic of, fucking tuna per year. And, here's an allocation for you. Because, like, apparently, people want to get behind me killing these people. But, I'm willing to bet, like, there's enough of us. Hey, man. Like, you do not qualify as human, all right? You don't qualify as human based on your actions. You got to do some pretty heinous shit in this country to get the death penalty, which is fucked up. Death penalty should be given out like fucking candy, man. Candy, all right? It should be given out like candy. Why? Because we ain't got time for this fucking nonsense. All right, so going back to what the Braves would do to the 80-year-old members of their tribe, because I was like, well, why aren't you going to get... Well, yeah, let's talk about that. Like, so you're... Wait a minute. You're willing to enslave my kids to debt, or my grandkids to debt, to the tune of $1 million, but for you to stay alive for one more year, but you're not going to authorize the death penalty on this person? Oh, that person benefits me, so no, you can't kill him, right? Like, because he's going to be a voter. He's going to be one of my voters, right, that want to fucking enslave your grandkids. See, it gets time shifted. The money The gets time shifted. All right, so if your ass basically couldn't keep up with the herd, hundreds of years ago, like, and you started dying, like, why the fuck are we dying anyway, man? Like, what's going on? What's happening to you? Like, well, age. They didn't have any concept of age. There was no fucking age. Like, who came up with that idea? Age and private property. I meet somebody old. The first fucking question they ask me is, how old are you? How old are you? You just play it back to them. I'm telling you, most of the time, you be talking to yourself. A lot of people now, especially after a harvest, like, there's like 1 out of 10 people are human. Just go into a gas station, man, and watch these people. They fucking walk like jerk movements. Like, I don't know if it's that ratio. I exaggerate sometimes to get my point across. However, so, but going back to, like, all right, so if you couldn't keep up with the fucking herd, for whatever reason, or you're trying to convince people, oh, let's stay. It's like, yeah, you're tired, and you're tired of doing this, and you're not good at it, and yeah, life kind of isn't so great for you, and you don't want to take the time to, like, develop a skill. Like, maybe you got a skill like, hey, I'm a real good storyteller, so I ain't gonna have to hunt, because you know what, every night, man, I'm gonna be telling a story, dude, around the campfire, and everyone's gonna be laughing, having a good fucking time. Wherever I go, there's a party. Like, you could put me, it don't matter what cage you put me in, man, it's always going to be a party. People love being around me. People like me, and they like being in my company, okay? And then you got these Beelzebubs, man, they come at me hard, man. They come at me hard, and I'll tell you right now, like, they will live in a fucking box as long as it's with me. They're like, oh, as long as I got you. It's like, dude, we're out here in a fucking box in the fucking middle of a fucking rainforest, dude. Like, what? Oh, well, we can eat these. Here. Like, what the fuck are you, man? Like, why do you think I would ever do that? So I met people, too. They're like, suddenly, like, automatically, like, oh, yeah, they got this we're in this together mentality. I'm like, nah, dude. Nah, man, I'll fucking kill you the first time I sense that fucking you're going to try to do something fucked up to me. I'll just fucking wreck you. Like, yeah, so, I'll tell you right now, man, you'll be around certain people, and they'll fuck with your mind somehow. You won't quite know it. Mostly it's phrases. You look into their eyes, and then suddenly it's worse. So I'll grill a motherfucker down, dude, because like I said, heavily abused, to me it's highly trained, right? So, and it's built into our language structure. So I met this guy the other day at the park, and he he had went down like the whole fucking Bible thing, man. Like he was good at it too. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I can if you gotta be like, you're gonna sit here and quote all this fucking scripture at me, and then sit here and judge my reaction to each one, and like each time I'm like fucking looking at you like you're a fucking crazy person for trying me, not because you believe in this story. And you're gonna quote it at me and tell me all this other shit, and then like they're all just a series of hypno phrases. And that guy says the same script to everybody. Okay. See, I'm just strong enough to get to the end of the script, and then like it's like you just got two guys standing here with their dicks in their hand, right? And then one of them's really fucking pissed off because it's like, what do you think, I'm a fucking idiot? Okay. What do you think, I'm a fucking idiot to try me like that? So I tell you, man, you know, like I'm telling you, like when like these phrases are apparent, most people will be susceptible to them because you've got like long-term conditioning, deep stack hypnosis, and all the fucking media that you've been exposed to. All right. So at some point it becomes like, at some point it becomes reasonable to crack somebody in the back of the fucking head and kill them. Just saying. At some point, that does become reasonable. You want to, like, fucking concoct it through a 7-year fucking trial with unlimited fucking appeals and blah, 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 blah. Like, alright, man. It's time. It's time. Like, I can judge somebody. I could ask somebody, like, probably 30 or 40 questions and figure out whether or not they're guilty. It's that easy. You know, because sooner or later, like, just put me in the room alone with them. That's all you got to do. Put me in the room alone with them. Because sooner or later, they're going to try a hypno trick. They'll try a hypno trick on you. Or they'll pause too long, and you'll just see their brains working, you know? Like, you'll ask a question, and then, like, you got to give them a false sense of security, like, oh, you're a fucking weakling, which I thought was written across my forehead. It must say victim. Please attempt to victimize me, you know? Hypno fuck. Yeah. Like, I'm some fucking, like, I was raised to be, like, a slave, right? Like, that's my feeling. Like, these things look at me like, they look at me like I'm candy somehow. I'm like, damn, man, it don't matter what I wear, what I'm looking like, you know, like these things fucking come at me. I'm like, so they don't even, you know, like, it ain't even about like whether I'm good looking or not good looking, or fucking I can, you know, kick somebody in the head and I'm like stretching out on the tree or whatever, you know, like it's got nothing to do with that. Like, that person comes at me regardless. And they come at me regardless of themselves. So, meaning, what I mean by that is like, okay, you're going to approach a guy like me, okay, so you're going to say, hey, man, hey, Dan, you're handsome, right? Most people would be self-conscious and not approach me. But these guys, I mean, they approach me, try to fucking lay it on thick, and I'm like, dude, like, I judge too much on appearances. I give everybody a fair shot, but I'm like, look at you and look at me. Like, you ain't even trying, man. Fucking belly all fat. Fucking, like, what you think? Because they think I'm gay or whatever, you know? They're going to try me, right? Like, that's the card or the play, right? That's the maneuver. That's your cover story. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, you're going to come at me like that. I feel you. Well, which way are you? You know, like, how do you identify, blah, 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 ask all those questions, you know, like, fucking, you can come at me, your fucking ass and belly hanging all out of your pants and your fucking shirt, and, like, be like, dude, come on, man, why do you think you ever had a chance with me? Doesn't make any fucking, like, I take very good care of myself, and I'm clean. You know, you come at me with dirty clothes, fucking belly all hanging out, the clothes that don't fit, like, everything's off about you, everything's wrong about you, and you're gonna come at me like and then you're gonna, like, try this hypno shit with the full expectation that it's gonna work. That to me tells me we're raised in a fucking cage, and I was born a fucking slave, and that these things can see something that I can't, and other humans can't see on me, but these fucking things can. They know somehow, like, hey, you're supposed to be this. And that's how I told you, man. Like, I had some people just say a fucking phrase, the next thing I know, I'm like taking off my shirt and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? You know, and I'm like, it's just fucking weird. You know, it was like, now it's like, you know, different because I'm aware. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of those tactics. So I had one of my friends. I had gone over, you know, having drinks with him, or at one of his girlfriend's house or something like that, or whatever. Like, there was like there was two girls, and then supposedly one of them was single. At least that's what she had reported to me, that she was single. And like I go like flirting. Here's my friend I hadn't seen in a long time. We get a bottle, and I'm like flirting with her, and I kind of put my arm out just around, like it was a bench table, and I didn't put it around her. I just kind of put it back. And after she'd be flirting with me, man, like hard, man, hard. She's flirting with me. And he pulls my arm off and he goes, you know, I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, every one of these are my girls, Danny. I'm like, well, hold on a second. What do you mean your girls? And then later on, like, she starts flipping the fuck out, man. Like, and this girl, like, had cut her arms up, had punched holes in the walls. Like, the whole place was banged up. You could tell there's a lot of repairs done, and it was, like, you know, damaged that this woman had been flipping out. Okay? And, like this suddenly, like when she started flipping out, and then like, or she'd be coming at me hard, like just trying to hump me, you know, like, or and they would start him and his friend, another girl he was banging, whatever the fucking, and then he just like left her like she was nothing, like which this is a long story, but anyway, he's saying to this other girl, you know, they're yelling at her, pineapple. And then I asked him later on, I said, well, like months later, I mean, he's losing his fucking kids, and he's like all this other shit, you know, because like it's fun to fucking eat ass and do coke, you know, and blow his whole fucking paycheck, and, well, I pay the mortgage, it's okay, I don't raise my kids. Yeah, fuck you, no it's not, man, you're a fucking pile of shit. Like, what the fuck are you thinking, dude? Like, and then he come crying to me for sympathy. I'm like, man, this got me fucking, you got me fucked up. Do you think I'm like, you know, but I offer, I don't know if it was sympathy or if he needed solutions, but then I offered him a solution, and clear as day, and he fucking flipped out. He started throwing the beer can. He's like drunk as fuck at 10 a.m., you know, still drove home though, right? Like, so I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you? You're not my friend. You are no way, shape, or form the person I fucking grew up with, man. Who the fuck are you? You're not my friend. Who the fuck are you? So anyway, like, he has this code phrase that he would say to his girl, and then I texted him. I asked him later on down the road. I said, well, I threatened him. I said, man, you don't come back here. You don't come back to this whole fucking city, man. If you do, there's going to be trouble. You know, point blank. You are no longer welcome here. I don't want to give away too much information about who this is. You know, stop trying to stir up shit. There's a little fucking minor interpersonal relationship conflict that, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about a whole fucking world here now at this point. So, but anyway, going back to the phrase, he says this phrase to her, and then I texted him. I said, well, why'd you say that phrase? Why? And he's like, oh, you know, it calms her down. And, like, she was a fucking robot. Like, she was some sex slave robot, and they fucking whisper something, and then suddenly her whole, and her demeanor did change. And I'm like, all right, wait, so that's obviously some hypno tactic you're using, man. Like, so, and then I proceed to tell him how the world isn't what he thinks it is, and there's nothing spectacular about him, and he's not some fucking god, and he's got knowledge of tactics that he should have no fucking knowledge of, and he's using them. He was caught using these tactics, hence the consequences upon his head. So, you know, but look, that shit happens every fucking day. So you got these deep stack hypnotic phrases that are built into our language, and the only way that really happens is through a very omniscient fucking intelligence that's aware. It's not, I mean, yeah, secret societies got aware of it and then started using it to their advantage. Yeah, right. Who wouldn't want, you know, who wouldn't want a whole fucking swath of people at their disposal? And they do it on like cultural basis. Like I said, each stratified, delineated social demographic that you can pretty much identify will have a specific set of phrase books. Like white guys, black guys, women, white women, black women, Spanish. So that's why I tell you right now, man. Like fucking. Just please look at a Chinese city. Just look at a goddamn Chinese city. Dwarfs anything we have. Like they've got underground roads. Like just go on your computer or your device, whatever you're using, go on your device and look at a Chinese city. It's so obvious. It's right there staring you in the face, man. They're like, I mean, it dwarfs anything we have. Like their smallest city dwarfs our largest. I mean, these people have got like, they don't even need cars. There's fucking, you know, they do like 10 packs of 50-story buildings around them, you know. It's like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, they're commies, right? Like, who the fuck told you that? They're commies? They're capitalists as motherfucker. We're buying all their old shit. What do you mean they're commies? You mean they work together as a single society and say, hey, we want everybody to have a home? Yeah, they do. And most people, look at America today, like, oh, they're talking about the fucking liberals and everything. Like, well, yeah, so now we're going to get up to speed once these fucking other people die, all these white beard fucking white people. Fucking, yeah. All you bastards that sold out of the future of our country so you could stay alive for 2 more years on fucking life support. Fuck you, man. What were you thinking? You thought people like me wouldn't look at you and be like, fuck you, man. It's time for you to die or support yourself. You just stand on your own 2 fucking legs. And that private property nonsense is nonsense, man. There ain't no private property. Like, you're going to tell me that some bank owns the fucking Bando building right across. I mean, I look at this bank fucking almost daily. Basically they pay a property management guy to come around and spray the soffit for bees, clean up the trash a little bit, but that's it. Like, the roof's fucking rotting. Like, you come out here and smash all these fucking windows tomorrow and nobody would even fucking, like, no, they wouldn't replace them. Just come smash them out, dude. Like, you see an empty bank in your community, go smash all the fucking windows. There you go. Look at the dump. It will represent, it's art. It's art. It represents the dump that we live in. We live in a fucking dumpster. Okay, because when I look around, I see all these abandoned buildings, and like, we're supposed to have this population and all this money floating around. Ain't no fucking depression, man. Like, come on, that is a piece of property I could live in that I can't. Well, I could, but on the books, I can't. Like, this thing could be a homeless shelter, easy. And I could run it, and for less than $300 a month, you wouldn't have fucking like 50 people out here panhandling, and then guess what? Who's gonna come in and try us? All these hypno fucks are gonna come in there, and when they come in there, and I pay attention to who they are, what they're doing, their actions and shit, and then they just, like magic, disappear from your community. Like, hello, like, why wait for 5 kids to go fucking missing, before like you figure out, hey, it's this guy, just like. Come on, man. Homeless shelter. There's fucking people will come in there and they'll be like, oh yeah, I need help. And they'll try to get down on everybody in there. And then you'll notice really quick, this guy shouldn't be around here with us. We'll take you down to the river. Maybe we'll baptize you if you're lucky. Baptize you with tide and give you a washing. Yeah. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Second they fucking realize that we put them under the water and they ain't coming up. Yeah. And then when we come up, we fucking start asking questions. Yeah, all right, man. All right, are you being human now? That's what that's all about, man. That's what that's all about. And they're baptized, man. They fucking, those churches will bring those hypno fucks in there, and basically they're demons, okay? They're demons. And like, if you're that weak-minded then at that point, and you kind of go along with it, like, you've got to be somewhere in there. You still got to be in your head of yours, even though you're being possessed, right? You still got to be in your head, and you still got to fight it. And if you just go along with it, like, haha, I like this a lot, then it's like, all right, yeah, then we're going to bring you into our church. We're going to bring you into our church, and then we're going to watch, like, what you do and see who you try to interact with, who you victimize, just so we're sure. And then we're going to go down to the river for your baptism. And everybody in our church, we all know what the fuck's going to happen to you, man. And there ain't nobody in there going to say a fucking word, all right? And now it cuts both ways. There's also churches where, they're going to come in there and fucking harvest you because you're going to walk into a church full of hypno demons, all right? And you're going to be like looking around, not going to notice it, and they're all going to start working on you, man. They're going to start munching on your mind. They're going to slowly hypnotize you over time, and then just one day you'll just disappear somehow, all right? And then nobody will ask a question about you because they fucking, hey. Some of these preachers brag about it, man. Come on. You got Dr. What's-His-Face over down by the river fucking bragging about 10,000 souls harvested. Like, what do you think he's talking about? He ain't talking about parishioners he signed up. Somehow this guy got the best church in town. How's that possible? Like, half your congregation goes missing at a certain time interval every fucking... come on, man. What the fuck? And you call it the soul harvest. And all your signage looks like hypno shit. Like, I'm sorry, I see that shit right away. Some people can't, man. They can hypnotize and brings them in. Oh, yeah, I'll come. Here's $20 every time I come to visit you, too. And they're sizing you up, and then they're going to kill you or fucking bring you in, and then they're going to help themselves to all your shit, too, that you worked for your whole life. And then they're going to come after your kids, your family. And, like, come on, man. That's what those places do. They either fucking kill demons or they harvest you. Those are the 2 types of churches you have. Don't be fooled by a denominational whatever nonsense, okay? You got 2 types of churches. You got one that kills... Well, they both kill people. You ain't a church if you ain't killing people. Or demons. Alright, so you got your demon churches, essentially. They're hard to differentiate, man. They're hard to differentiate. So I got that victim shit written on my head, so I get solicited to come to churches all the time. And then I get there and it's like, yeah, man, I see, yeah, I see you, and I see you, and I see you, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's another way too. When you get one of these hypno demons that keep fucking with you, man, just like when you ask them a question, your best bet when you ask them a question, then they just sit there and like look at you, right? And they're waiting for you to give them the answer. Like, well, is it this, or that? But they start like snapping your fingers in front of their face. Be like, hey, man, you okay? Oh yeah, yeah. Well, what's your answer? What do you mean? What do you mean? What I mean? Don't you remember the question 2 minutes ago? Are you okay? Should I call you an ambulance? They'll snap right the fuck out of it. They're not going on an ambulance because they don't know what fucking hospital they're going to show up. Man, some hospitals, again, they're like churches. They might harvest you, or they might kill you because you're a fucking demon. Or you're a Beelzebub. You're susceptible to Beelzebubity, or whatever, Beelzebub, the fucking main demon. Yeah, Beelzebub. That guy. Come on. So, going back to, you have this older portion of your society that basically sells your grandkids to slavery in the form of debt. So I'll tell you right now, man, by the time like I get to be 60 on Social Security, like they're all telling me like I ain't even gonna get it, and they keep raising the age up. Like I ain't even gonna get it. They're telling me. So, I mean, if I'm a 22-year-old in this country right now, why wouldn't I get together with other 22-year-olds and just put an ad out, say you're this or that, whatever, man. You seem like this 80-year-old guy that wants to diddle you. Oh, he's looking for some hot young cock or some shit, right? Yeah, man, go to his house, size him up, see if he's on bullshit. Be like, yeah, man, looking to rent the place, blah, blah, blah. You can stay there for free, see what he tries to do to you. If he tries to be on bullshit with you, man, bring your fucking friends over there, kill the motherfucker, and take his shit. Or just live there. Disappear him. Use your fucking brain. Because that's the world we live in. Alright? It is not fucking NCIS, guys. There's nobody that's going to do forensic analysis over this guy. Trust me. Get rid of him. Society does not need that fucking person. Does not need an 80-year-old kitty diddler that fucking made it somehow. Because his community didn't fucking wipe him out. Which, you're goddamn obligated to. It's not the police's fucking job. Okay? It's not. It's our job as a community. It's not just one group. Oh, we're gonna tolerate our kids going missing every fucking summer, and we're gonna blame the police for not doing enough. All right, well, what the fuck did you do, asshole? You're gonna sit around and bitch about the police not doing enough. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Hey, let's go fucking put. You know what, man? I'm pretty confident I fucking raised my kid right. My kid ain't fucking stupid, so my kid's willing to be the bait. Yeah, no problem. My kid will be the bait, dude. My kid ain't fucking stupid. He's like his old man. How's that? And then we'll fucking figure this shit out. First motherfucker, man, that fucking even talks to my son, dude. Like, comes up, he's gonna be up kind of by the easement playing, right? See how many people stop and try to talk to your fucking kid, man. Just do it. See how many. And put a mic on your kid. Or stay within earshot, Like, don't even put a mic. Just stay within earshot and listen to what this motherfucker says to your kid. And he's going to say hypno phrases that your kid's already predisposed to, and then just be like, I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, you got to be on point. You got to be ready with you and your boys out there waiting. Wait for that dude to fucking convince your kid to get in their car and then go chase his ass down the truck, dude, fucking, then take that motherfucker apart. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, you might need one guy that's not too squeamish, but for the most part, you just fucking bury him. Nobody's coming to look for that guy. That guy has lived. Trust me. Just hear me out now. Just trust me. That guy has lived like he probably don't have a cell phone. If he does, it ain't in his name. He's probably got a couple fake IDs by now. And chances are, if he's an older pedophile guy, like in his 50s, and he's got a nice car, you know why? Not because he worked hard, it's because he was in a pedophile ring at some point and fucked over each one. So that's what they do to each other. They'll get a kid, and then they'll bring, they'll tell their pedo friends, and they'll have a camera there. And what they call that basically is consensual rules of play, is what they call it. Victimized right here. Yeah, victim right on my forehead, man. Like, I've been through all this. All right. So, and then they'll blackmail each other, for jobs and money. That's essentially what they do to each other. So at this point, like, you would be, if you've got like fancy shit, nice house, nice car, you're an upper echelon fucking pedophile. You're probably there because you fucked over other pedophiles, and now you're like, I mean, fuck, if you don't care about them, you're fucking raping kids anyway. Like, you know, on the moral scale, there's no fucking compass. So you don't, but don't be surprised with the hypnosis is what I touch on is, don't be surprised if your kid actually gets in this car. Be like, holy shit, man, what the fuck's my kid doing, right? And you gotta chase him out. So you gotta be ready to chase him down, all right? Gotta have more than one vehicle. You gotta be ready to chase him down. And trust me, like, nobody's gonna miss this guy because nobody knows who the fuck he is, all right? Nobody knows who the fuck he is. Man, the people that came at me, man, like, do I try to find them later in life, man? They don't even own fucking property. And I'm savvy, man. Like, you want to fuck with me, man, you better not own property in this country, because I'm gonna find you. That's simple. Come fuck with me and try to own property afterwards. Yeah, exactly. You shit in your fucking pants every fucking day. Who's writing Chomo on my garage? You know? Yeah. Can't own property then. And they won't, because they know better anyway. Unless they got fake IDs, right? Which is pretty easy with Harvests, because now, I mean, gosh, I got 6 social security numbers myself, and they just fucking, I felt guilty about fucking leaving them outside a donation box, where it was clear that, like, somebody's whole house got cleaned out and dumped at, like, one of those donation center, like, just a box. It's just a box in the middle of a fucking parking lot. Some guy comes out every morning in a box truck, 5 a.m., pick it up. Same guy. Takes one day off a week, never brings a broom and sweeps the fucking glass and all the other shit, but because the whole community goes through it, like, we're like fucking birds, man. They wipe out some whole fucking house. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, who is this person, you know? And I'll, like, try to find them later, and they don't fucking respond. You know, their family's not fucking, like, they're gone, man. So I guess those are other crazy people, right? Like, yeah, so, like, come on. So, yeah, like, set those fucking people up. Get rid of them. We don't need those people. They don't have fucking rights. They are a fucking child molester. They have no fucking rights, man. Like, come on, back. If we all lived in a village and we were all in a, like, little fucking huts coming out, we had to hunt every day, and every day you saw this dude fucking, like, fucking, you know, go fucking touching himself, looking at fucking all the children, you know, or trying to talk to your, like, niece. You know, you got a 12-year-old niece, and every day this fucking fuck's fucking with your niece. He's like 40 years old. He's like, oh yeah, it comes away, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever the fuck, dude. You know, like, I mean, fuck no, dude. Like, who the fuck are you, man? No. You know, why are you talking to her all the time? Like, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Just, yeah. You know, 200-300 years ago, man, that guy just went to the river one day and never came back. All right, you feel me? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with policing your own fucking community. And if you think there is, then you're not even fucking wanting... Then that tells me you don't even want to be a member of a community. You just want to have, hey, what's mine is mine, and I have a privatized police force I'm going to call every time I hear a dirt bike. I don't care if those kids go missing. I just don't want to hear the noise. Fuck you, man. You got a rock for you, too. You know, start cutting those people's cable. Cut their internet line. Fuck with their infrastructure, man. All right? Do that. Fuck with those people's infrastructure. Hey, man, you want to live in our community, nobody knows who the fuck you are, and you want to just, like, call the police on people randomly, like, think it's like a fucking game. Yeah, like, fuck that. Or you don't ever want to come out of your house. Fuck that, man. Who the fuck are you? We're going to make you come out of your house. Make them come out. Or buy a newspaper. Interact with your world. Like, you don't have a right not to be in a community. This is my world and your world. You do not have a right to any type of fucking police force to say, hey, this is mine. Like, you didn't even work. Like, how many people, yeah, I get the argument. Hey, man, I went to work for like 40 years, man, fucking fitting pipe, dude. And I, like, bought this home and I did everything right. And, you know, like, I got a garden and I have a dog and I raised 4 kids and, like, I instilled my good values into them. Like, you know, like, yeah, all right. Like, I feel you there, man. Like, you're a homesteader. Like, I get that. For the most part, you're self-sufficient. And you probably got a bunch of money in the bank you don't know what the fuck to do with. I mean, if you're a guy like that, or a guy like me, I can't hold on to money, man, no matter what. Like, fucking the world takes it from me every time. You know, like... I mean, everybody, like, I mean, my own family. Like I told you, I live with my family. I got a job. They just stopped buying food. Like, how'd that happen? Well, that tells me my family's already dead. So, yeah, that ain't my family. There's no fucking way. They're just Beelzebub'd out, you know? Like, now they're in NPC land, you know? Like, all right, you're like this fucking person that basically, you know, just doesn't matter what I do, you're always going to make trouble for me. Like, how does that work? Like, no matter what I do, you're always going to make trouble for me. I mean, come on. Like, it's obvious at this point. Like you stop buying food? Dan got a job, so we just stopped buying food. Yeah, alright, gee. I mean, who would do something like that? Not a human being. So, that's what made me start. That's what, like, kind of precipitated all this, right? Was me realizing that my family wasn't my family anymore. Like, who the fuck are you people? What are you? What are you? Who are you? How are you here? They fucking hate that question, man. How are you here? How are you here? Yeah, because that's the AI system working to them. The AI system got to go fucking work hard because they don't understand that question. How are you here? Because it don't fucking have an answer that it can just convey out. So then you just sit there and you just sit there and your mother's like, you know, like, how are you here, Mom? Don't say a fucking word. She just zones out and stares at you. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck? Yeah. A little more cognizant being might be, you know, I ask how are you here, they might respond, you know, fuck you mean, how am I here? Like, you don't believe I'm here, man? Let me give you slap her out a little bit. See, the demons, they won't necessarily resort to violence right away. They've got to, like, get you, because they are aware of the legal construct that they have implemented. So now the whole world is basically set up around, like, if you're an actual human, you have any type of emotions, man, like, the world's set up to, like, fuck you bad and then try to make you, like, go crazy like Jerry Maguire, right? Like, I mean, he hit the nail on the head when he's like, everybody just thinks I'm gonna flip out, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm the fucking most understanding, fair person in the world. Why would you think I was ever gonna flip out? Oh, because you did something that was so atrocious, so unfair, and so inhuman that fucking, you know that the normal reaction for any human is to, like, flip out and kill you. But I'm gonna play your game and be like, no, that's fine. It's okay. That's what I've done my whole life. That's how I'm alive. I played the game, and then once they think they have the upper hand, it's the second I dip off. You know? Try to paint me as crazy. I will have sex with the doctor you put me in front of every single time. We will wind up having sex, and I will get a clean bill of health. I can't even avoid it. Can't even avoid it. Look. Alright. One way or another, they're going to think that I belong to them. Won't be true. Alright. But I'll play the game. I'll pretend like it. I mean, imagine, like, you get a dog and, like, you think it's being loyal to you, and the first second you turn your back, it, like, fucking eats your fucking... It eats your dinner, and then it runs out the doggy door, never to be seen again. Yeah. So, going back to what the Braves used to do, the Braves in your community would go and, like, once you had these people that would refuse to take care of themselves, and they would try to control the tribe and make the tribe do what they said because it was easier, and then they had a reason to, too. They had a cover story. See, if these fucking things don't have cover stories, don't give them cover stories, man. Like, well, did you do it because of this or that? Don't even fucking ask that question. Ask them why, and then watch them just sit there, and they'll just try to brainwash you. Like, literally, silently. They won't even say a word, and they'll just keep trying to make eye contact with you. They won't give you any type of rebuttal or anything that says it won't make sense. Or it'll be kind of like this neutral phrase that you'll get. Or it'll take them like 10 minutes to come up with this. Oh, well, it was such a stupid question I didn't answer. It's like, oh, so you sat there and fucking looked stupid for 10 minutes because you thought the question was stupid? Like, and then you'll sit there for another 10 minutes while that guy goes out of his fucking mind and just sits there and they'll stare at you. Like, and they're trying, and they stare at you long enough, all right? They stare at you long enough, what they really are will expose themselves to you, okay? And that's what I said. I said, let the world expose what the world really is. Let it reveal itself to you. All right? Let this world reveal itself to you. Because it will. It will. Yeah. All right. So the Braves. Getting to the Braves and old people, right? Like, so if you were like this old person that like you didn't have any special knowledge, like if you already knew and you've been around that long, you knew it was coming down the pike. You know, when you were a Brave, like, you already saw this. You already saw when that lady couldn't walk no more and she was 70 and fucking nobody was there to carry her. Then you had her fucking crying and blah, blah, blah. Ooh, woe is me. Well, you already lived your life, right, lady? You had your interval. And it was an interval of plenty from what I understand. And what I'm living in now ain't so fucking plenty because of your fucking greed. And now you want me to carry you on my back? Hell no, man. We'll do it once. We'll do it twice. Now, by a third time, man, she'll have to, like, find some patsy or some fucking goat, basically. Some goat that you know, another human that she can get down on to carry her from place to place. And it'll have to be some young, able-bodied. And then, like, sooner or later, somebody will be like, you know, so we separate up, but we should stay together as one tribe. Like, no, man. Come with me. Don't carry her. Like, come on. Let me show you something funny. All right? Let me show you something. Let me tell you a joke. And then suddenly, hey, well, check it out, man. You're 80 years old. You've been around for so long. You picked up no knowledge, no wisdom, no self-discipline. And, like, I mean, at least you could do is know how to brew fucking hooch from corn. Something. You know how to make clay pots really good that everybody wants. You know how to stitch fucking clothing really well that everybody wants. Like, you'll have some skill where somebody will walk with you and take the extra hour or two to get you to the village. And maybe a couple people that will set up the wigwam for you in advance. Because you've got this skill set that benefits the tribe immensely. Yeah, you can't hunt no more, you can't run no more. Okay, yeah, we get it. But at the same time, if you can't do none of that shit no more, and you don't bring any type of knowledge or nothing, and all you do is got like some hoopty mind control bullshit on the youth, dude, sooner or later, someone's gonna come and, like, you know, you're gonna think they're ahead of you, but man, they've been waiting back that morning. That Brave's been waiting back that morning. Alright? And you're gonna get a fucking tomahawk to the back of your head. That's how it was, and that was fair, because it's like, wait, the whole community has to die because of this person didn't want to keep up, or couldn't anymore, and wanted everybody to carry her, or like, so all our whole society now has to restructure around one or two fucking people? What? Hell no. Hell fucking no. What the fuck is you thinking, man? Tomahawk that motherfucker. See you later. Goodbye. You know, now let's translate that because that's metaphor for modern terms. So, when my grandparents charged the American taxpayer $750,000 in Medicare expenses, well, I guess the taxpayer's just on the hook for that. And they, you know, if you explain to them, man, hey, man, they would have said, yeah, just let me go peacefully. Like, I'll just die on my couch. This is what I want, and I don't need none of that shit. I don't need a breathing tube. Don't do all that. Don't do a million surgeries and a million studies and give me all these drugs and make me go to all these doctor's appointments and all this fucking nonsense, okay? I don't want any of that. And because the family money would have been at stake, the inheritance from my mother, what happened to her? Yeah, she wound up fucking dying anyway before she could spend the money. So it happens. It happens. And, like me, if you're a cognizant being, why didn't you plan for that? That's what I don't understand. I'm like, well, what did you think? He was just going to live forever? Or, oh, well, she didn't know no better. She's an Irish immigrant, came over on a boat to Ellis Island, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I buy that story. Like, but I don't buy is that my grandmother just never asked another fucking question in her life. Like, all right, she got out of the 5th grade. She graduated 5th grade. And she came to America, or she went to church. Her father made shoes. So they made a good living. You know, she was back in the 20s. You know, you were all right. Her father was a shoemaker. She always had the best shoes anyway. So all right, right. And you go to school. You get the equivalent of an American fifth grade education, or even not even that. I mean, not back then. She went to school to fifth grade. She knew how to read, write, and do basic arithmetic. You know, at the end of her life, she could, but she wasn't reading books. It was like, wait, so you came over here at age 20, and then, like, you were just kept so busy, or, like, life was so good here, or just, I mean, well, that's just the way life was. But see, I don't buy that, man. Like me, I'm a naturally curious individual. I look at the world around me, and I have to ask fucking questions. I want to know how this shit works. You know, and then I look at other people, and I'm like, well, wait, so you went your whole life, you went to 80, and like at this point you're just like some fucking placeholder. Like, what? You never asked. So you graduated fifth grade and just didn't ask another fucking question? You just veg out in front of the TV, or you went to sermons? Like, I mean, my grandmother, I mean, I loved her. She's a really good soul, but at the same time, like, she didn't take herself to the next level. She didn't better herself. Like, even when she got to, like, 60, it wasn't like, oh, well, maybe I should go get a PhD, you know, which she should have. Like, that's my feeling, man. Like, we should be living in a society, like, if you hit 65 and, like, you ain't got a PhD by then, like, what the fuck are you here for? Just saying. Like, are you particularly good at doing something? No, I work for the county. I put up stop signs and drive around. I'm like, fucking, that's all I do. You know, I got a full-time job. I do like 8 hours of actual work a week. And I have been here so long that I make fucking way more than everybody else. Like, you didn't go to school, learn how to be like, oh, upper management, how to run the business, none of that. You know, like, you just, like, come on, man. Like, how does that work? Like, you want me to even buy that? You want me to buy that storyline? Are you fucking crazy? I don't believe that for fucking... No. Hell no. Hell no. Like, you're telling me that... I just decided never to ask another fucking question again after 5th grade, huh? You know? You know, I mean, grandmother never wanted to bother to learn how to drive a car, even. Even drive a car. My grandmother died at almost 90 with no fucking driver's license. She'd been in America for, like, forever. And I'm saying there's no fucking way. There's no way unless, like, my grandmother basically was, like, my grandfather was just, like, whatever, used some mind control tactic on her, kept her in a fucking box. Much like my family tried to do to me, man. Like, fuck that. Fuck you. Hell no. I got out. I escaped. Now I look at the world and I'm like, all right, that really wasn't my family. I look at my grandfather, I'm like, so I wonder when he actually died and got basal bubbed, you know? When did my grandfather get basal bubbed? So, but I just don't buy that. And I get mad when I see it. I'm like, all right, man, you're, like, sucking up our country's resources. And you're not, like, investing any money into, like, businesses that provide jobs for young people. And instead, you just keep vertically integrating our fucking financial system. For your own fucking 401k. And then before you die, you don't even spend the money. It's like, yeah, I died with 300 grand in my portfolio. And then, like, the second your kids get it, like, they go off to the races and fucking, you know, I mean, I've seen it so many times, man. They go buy a new truck, they buy the motorhome, they buy the boat, they buy, like, fucking 20 grand worth of crack. You know, like, you give your average, yeah, let's use all our delineated, stereotypical shit. Like, you give your average fucking Gen Xer, well, probably late blooming Gen Xer at this point now, give them $100,000. I already know what they're going to spend it on. It's like a fucking computer code, man. You're like a script. Give you 100 grand, dude. You ain't going to go fucking buy a fucking... You're not going to go start a restaurant, man. Not by yourself, yeah. Like, you're going to go spend that money on a new car, a vacation, a boat, whoever you meet, maybe some jet skis or a snowmobile. a bunch of drugs, and some younger, and be in the company of younger people. And then you're gonna come around like, and you're gonna think you're hot shit, and go to a bunch of fucking concerts and fucking like tell people like fucking, like, all right, get out of my way. I got a better truck than you. Fuck off, man. I'm older, and then walk around like you earned it. That's what I mean to say. Yeah, walk around like you earned it. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So basically, like, now suddenly, like, you get a little bit of money in your bank account. Now you think you got fuck you money, and hell no, man. You go piss it all away on fucking nonsense. Like, you think maybe you could have, like, said, hey, well, what about the future of this country and the youth? Because I plan to be 80 one day, and I want to piss through this money, but I want to be 80, and I still want to be alive in this country. And the young people are looking at me like, dude, there's no fucking way. The second we get in office, the second we take in power, we're going to strip you of all your fucking assets, and we're going to take away your health care. Unless you're willing to give it to us all now. That's how we got it, man. We fucking went there and told those motherfuckers, hey, listen, this is how it is. Like, we are not stupid. We can do simple arithmetic. You guys are not fucking us over. So either you're going to give everybody free health care, or you're going to find a lot of problems. Because you're going to cause problems. It's not about civil disobedience. It's about smashing out the windows of the bandos. Just start there. Because you got all these old people with old money that, like, fucking they inherited, or fucking, oh, I earned over 40 years. But it's like, yeah, but you didn't invest into the country, man. You just, like, fucking, like, you saved every nickel because you like to brag about your friends at the Moose Lodge, about who's got the most, Like, man, I bought so many fucking old guys Bitcoin and made them a money hand over fist, and you go on tough times, you're like, hey man, lend me $100. Oh no, man, I made you $20,000 last year. You can't give me $100 fucking bucks. Holy shit! See, that's what I tell those baby buzzers, man. They are cheap. They're cheap as fuck. They won't give you a nickel. They haven't applied to spare. All right. Haven't applied to fucking spare. So start cutting the internet lines. Cut the fucking cable line to their home. Electricity might be got a little hairy. Bash out the bando windows. Like, people will start. Those people will smarten the fuck up. They will. They'll be like, hey man, what's going on in our community? And then the local mayor's like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm only here by 500 votes, dude. I don't pay attention to this shit. I just take my money and shut the fuck up. I sign when they tell me to sign. That's all I do. And then finally, like, all old people are like, well, what the fuck, man? Why does my community look like? And they go to the police. Well, we can't help the vandalism. Oh, well, when are they coming out to fix it? What do you mean? Well, who owns that property? Like, can't you tax them some more? But the county's really, it's all fucking bullshit on paper, man. There ain't no fucking money coming in for that building. Okay? And if there is, these guys are just breaking it up, splitting it up, and fucking having a big old party too. So you smash those windows out in that fucking bank, I guarantee you nobody's gonna fucking fix it for a minute. Unless somebody might get paid to board it up. Somebody will get paid to board it up. But I bet you they'll never see the key to that building. What are the police gonna do? Like, how would you ever get caught? Like, you go out dressed in, like, man, just wear 2 sets of clothes. One, get throwaways. Like, believe me, man, they're not gonna see a smashed up fucking building and then, like, a quarter mile down the road a fucking t-shirt on the ground. There's no way. Or in the garbage barrel across the street at the shopping plaza. They ain't gonna go picking through that. Like, none of that shit's gonna happen. Go as a pack. Go as a pack of more than one. They won't be able to differentiate you anyway. Okay, smash those fucking buildings, or smash those windows out of that fucking bank building. And then show all these old people around here who think they fucking run shit and think, well, I own private property, this is all mine, and I got $250,000 in the bank, I don't care what happens. It's like, yeah, inflation's gonna happen to you, motherfucker. I know my mom's probably shocked because she went on retirement early. So she wanted to take like 70% of what her actual benefits would be had she waited for like just 2 or 3 more years, which it was well within her capability to do, and she didn't anyway. And then, boom, here comes inflation. And I warn her, I tell her, like, look, this is a cycle. History's not hard to figure out, and it's staring you right in the face. She don't give a fuck, whatever. Hey, yeah, man. Milk is $5 a gallon. I mean, come on. Hello. 24 pack of Coke that used to cost, you get 2 for $5, or 2 12-packs for $5. Now they're $5.89 a piece. Like, why is there any reason for inflation? They tell you it's because there's not enough money in circulation. Like, now it seems like there's too much money in circulation, right? Like, or there's too much. Yeah, that's right, because they printed too much. Like, but we needed more because there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough liquidity in the market, so we couldn't grease the cogs of the financial machine, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, what they really mean is it's Keynesian economics. Okay, they had this guy named John Maynard Keynes who came up with this idea you can contract and expand the money supply based on the necessity of having a transfer medium, which is legit. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. It's legit to an extent that it doesn't get controlled by a cabal, which then implements a fractional reserve banking system with a private fucking monetary note. Like, come on. It's fucking obvious. And if it's not so obvious, dude, get the fuck behind me, man, and listen to me and support me. Because I'm telling you the truth, because I have no fucking agenda. I don't care. I'm just waiting for the world to fucking fall apart. And I'm going to find the strong people that were cooked down, basically, and then we're going to put it back together in a fucking much better way. We're going to take all your shit because you're going to be dead. And it's just going to be sitting there, just like his fucking bank. So it's like, let's do something with this building, or let's start destroying it. Alright? Because once you got like 80-year-olds fucking riding around, and then you got other people too, like, oh, I just moved to the Brandon area, right? Like, I just bought a $400,000 home in the Brandon area, and I go to the gym down the street, and there's a bunch of fucking buildings with smashed out windows. A couple of them are burnt down. Well, I thought I was like, where'd you move to, man? You came to a dumpster, and you didn't even know it. And you paid $400,000 for a fucking home that's worth $200,000 at the most, and now you're fucked. Because ain't nobody coming here no more. And, but I'll get a home equity loan. That's right. And then you'll pay that loan off over the rest of your fucking life, man. And you'll never get out from under it, because it's a trap. It's a fucking trap. And it's obvious. And it's like, I look at people doing this shit, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I have more respect for the guy living in his little fucking trailer in the fucking parking lot plaza with me. Like, that guy's way smarter than fucking anybody in a $400,000 home. Dude, if you're a software engineer and blah, 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 it's like, all right, yeah, I get that you make the money, but why would you spend it like that? That don't make no fucking sense to me. You bought a $200,000 home. Like, can't you just walk in? Like, you're a software engineer. Can't you walk into a home and be like, I just don't see it in the building materials, man. Sorry, I just don't see it. I don't see $400,000 here. I could build this house for $80,000. I could build this house for $80,000. I mean, not now with the inflation, building materials, all that shit. All right, $120,000. But I ain't seen $400,000. Well, the house is already built, Yeah. So, I mean, the property value of these fucking houses will go down. But honestly, I've seen one for sale sign in like the past year. All right, one. No matter where I've gone, there's only just like one. How can that be? Second it goes for sale on the MLS, it gets bought right the fuck up by an algorithm, all right? And nothing changes. So that house just goes up for sale. Somebody gets a check, and like you don't see nobody move out, nobody move in. So all these birds somehow leave at the same exact time, man, within like an acre. Like, that shit just blows me. They're on like a group fucking mind, all right? They have a group mind. There's no way the bird over there that was fucking eating some worm over by that fucking telephone pole saw or heard whatever the fuck this bird over here seen, like behind my car. Especially with all the other background noises. And if that is the case, then what is that bird? That bird's got like hearing that's 10,000 times better than ours. So, like, well, let's take it apart then. Figure out how that fucking thing works and then recreate it. Because at this point, like, it's got 10 times more. It's got such a competitive advantage over everything else in nature. It shouldn't even have it. We don't even need things like that then. Leave these worms alone. How the fuck is it that... My warning shots. It's like that sometimes, man. But this is the way the world works, man. It's all fucking real, people. It is all real. Yeah, you want to call me crazy, all that shit, but you're gonna see. Here's what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna believe the things that I say because it makes sense, and then you're gonna share it with somebody, and they're immediately gonna try to alienate you, and it's probably gonna be a family member, and you're like, they won't even be able to watch me. They won't be authorized to knowledge, okay? But you are. And then they're going to sit there and like try to, they will make what's called straw man arguments, where it's just basically them trying to piss you off and make you look crazy when you start repeating the shit that I have said. All right? And that's exactly what's going to happen here. It's exactly what's going to happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to me my whole life. Like my whole life, no matter where I go, the things that I say far and few in between, I find something that's like, yeah, man, that makes sense, dude. Yeah. You know, when you're talking about making money setting oil on fire, how to do that more efficiently, oh yeah, they'll be right fucking behind you. All these fucking Beelzebub assholes. They'll be right behind you. Oh, yeah. The second you start asking questions about, like, man, I wonder what's in the middle of the moon, they'll call you crazy. Like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean? What's in the middle of the moon? Well, I mean, well, does it have a core? Or, like, you know, what's in the middle of the moon? Why would you even think about something like that? Well, because you look at it fucking... Well, don't you see it in the sky? And they'll just look at you. Hello? I'm asking you a question. Don't you see that thing in the sky? And they'll size you up. Of course I do. Well, what do you think of it? What color is it? Whoa. They'll go crazy, man. Just asking simple questions. That's how you can tell a demon. Kill that motherfucker. We don't need him. Goodbye. See you later. I'm not sharing the planet with you because you're not human. Sorry. Yeah, I can appreciate the AI system, but you don't need some apparatus that's fucking completely, like, nonsensical, useless, waste my fucking time, piss me off, get in my fucking way, and then, like, oh, yeah, and then, so that's a sick joke, right? Is that these people get Beelzebub controlled by the fucking AI system, and then the AI system at the last minute just abandons them and leaves, and then they're sitting there like, what happened? And then they're real like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. So now he's got this convenient excuse. And then he's got this whole hospital system where he can go through, and then they'll give him a check. Like, oh, yep, that guy did his duty. Now he's getting his check and, you know, retire and basically get with a crazy check. Yeah, man, you did all this shit. And if you got away with doing it illegal, they didn't have enough proof or whatever. Not that they really try hard either, because like I said, you know, like the world is contrived. Your local police stations, all that shit, man, like your sheriffs, typically... gonna be some Beelzebub asshole. They're gonna be barely even elected. You can run against this person and you can probably beat them. Just have everything planned at the last second. Okay? That's what you gotta do. You gotta plan everything at the last second, and then you gotta go film all the polling stations. Watch, the police show up. Well, what are you filming for? Like, oh, I'm just doing the news story. I work for blah, 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 WFLNKB. You know, you say shit that confuses the Beelzebub police officer that wants to shut your camera down because they know damn well you're going to broadcast, and now I've got evidence to challenge the election. Because there's no fucking way Sheriff Chivas or whatever the fuck got fucking, you know, 60,000 people in this county to come out and vote for him. How do you know that? Because I filmed the polling stations and not even 60,000 people came out to the polling stations. You know, like it was like 2,000 people across the county, man. We went to all the polling stations. That's why they started doing the vote early thing, right? They don't want people getting together and standing outside and talking about this shit, talking about the candidates. Like, yeah, who is this guy? I don't know. I'm just a Republican, man. I'm here to vote red. Oh, I'm blue, man. I'm here to vote blue. Yep, I hear you. All right. Well, I'm still an American. You're probably my neighbor, and we probably got more in common than these fucking old whitebeards think we do. And but I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna do my duty and vote red. You vote blue, and we can still be friends. You know. It's pretty much how it goes at our generation. But then you get like an 80-year-old guy fucking yell at the goddamn TV, fucking like he's ready to burn you guys. Like, he'd fucking throw you all in a fucking... Like, that's his demeanor, is he would throw you all in a fucking gas chamber. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'd like to kill that cunt. This is what he says about Hillary. You know, like, fucking weird shit like that. Yeah, like, well, why? She's crooked. The fuck's that mean? I don't know. That is what the Hannity face told me, man. Yeah? What color was the Hannity? That's what I'm telling you, man. Ask these people like simple fucking questions and watch them flip the fuck out. All right? That's because that's their mind trying to overcome the hypno shit the AI has served up to them and made them think. Because they know in their heart that you're right. And they know that they're just sitting there lying to themselves, and they believe this fucking thing that somehow don't make no sense, but it benefits them, so it's okay. And that's how they operate. If it benefits them, they're just going to go with it. I don't know. I know Publix was closed, and so, but they might be. I mean, only a few cars parked over there. But the dollar store might be open. I don't know. They're trying to get like some cranberry sauce or something. I ain't celebrating this year. I ain't got no family left. Yeah, Walmart right now is closed too. I think they got pallets in front of their door. So we're gonna go. That's where we're going for the Black Friday doorbuster. Let's see how many people are gonna show up and how many people are gonna leave with smiles on their face. And man, I've got footage of Black Friday from a long time ago, just Victoria's Secret. This is pre-harvest, okay? At our peak, you're talking like 09, I want to say 09. Manchester, New Hampshire. We're at the mall, and man, I mean, there was like at least 100 women there for the panties alone. I mean, probably the best footage I ever got. I mean, holy smokes, man! We waited outside in the cold, like it was, well, we were there for Egyptian cotton sheets. I went with somebody. I didn't really have any plan to buy anything. I was just there for the experience. That's what I do. I don't really care to own property. You know, I'm happy to have clothes and everything. You know, I'm happy to look sharp, and you know, I like getting a good haircut and blah blah blah, and smelling good and not being dirty, having clothes that look good. But when we look at the environment and what we got like on our planet, man, that's like relatively. It's not hard to scale it up, mass produce it, and then give it away. Everybody gets them. Like, why are we like sending our fucking clothes and then like that same damn shirt will be like sold like 4 or 5 times? I mean, come on, man, just like put it in a giant warehouse underground. They bail up our clothes right now, man. Unless you work at the homeless shelter, you're bailing clothes. And them clothes just get fucking shredded. I'll tell you right now. I mean, you ever see, like, I see it sometimes. Like, you think, like, it's like pollen on your car or some fucking whatever, the weeping willow tree or something. I've seen people on Reddit light it on fire and stuff, this fuzz. And yeah, it's like, man, that shit's like, you get this fuzz on your car sometimes. Like, man, these are fibers from clothes. Like, what the fuck is this? You know? I've seen that before too. Yeah, that's a giant fucking shredding operation somewhere, man. Like if you look, man, you can find these places. You'll find them. You will. You know, you go to the chicken place, man. The chicken feed's got fucking dead humans in it. That's the leftovers. They do once they get your blood and they got your skin, and then, like, you can't like necessarily repackage you and sell you right back to yourself. So they'll just feed fucking. I mean, come on, 60 million people disappeared. 60 million people in our country disappeared, and then you have all these other like societies too that like there's a history of like, oh, this society just had a mass disappearance, like the whole fucking village disappeared, right? So, yeah, except for a few basil bulbs left behind and some fucking children they can fucking, regrow with. Or somebody who's not going to be smart enough to, like, tell everybody what happened. But going back to, I can answer the question typically both ways. Like, why would you and why wouldn't? Why would I and why wouldn't you? And so my question to most people is like, well, why wouldn't you at this point? Now that you see that like the system's a total fucking farce. If you're under 25, man, you got a snowball's chance in fucking hell. You got a snowball's chance in hell if you're under 25. I would recommend start peeping out people and get ready to point the fucking finger, man. You know, like, hey, I'm a guy that I provide solutions, man. Come with me with the problem. I see the problem, but nobody fucking listens to me. Sooner or later, it's gonna get to the point where it's like, ain't even no more humans left. So it's like, whatever, man. I mean, you know, like, just gonna eat a bullet. But I've already tried that. Fucking gun didn't go off. But it did, you know, like that same bullet worked when it wasn't pointing at my head, which is fucking strange. So, you know, go figure that one out. Go figure. Couldn't eat that bullet. I know other people too, man. Actual humans couldn't eat a bullet. Nothing wrong with that bullet. Bullet fired later, but put a gun in your head and pull a trigger and it don't fucking go off. How do you explain that? Same bullet went somewhere else, though. It don't make no sense. And come on. So, there's a lot, man. There's a lot going on. But what we used to do when somebody would get too old and they didn't offer anything to our village anymore, and all they did was hold us back, and go crack them in the back of the skull and fucking tomahawk them. You know, make it swift and quick. No suffering. Keep up with the tribe. You can't keep up with the tribe, so now we got all these people like, oh, wait a second. Well, here's a chair. Sit down. Sit down. I ain't got no reason to sit down. What is that? Sit down? What do you mean? You know, some cults call it whatever, the devil and shit like that. That's cool, but in the end, it's like the same shit. Like the AI saying, hey, you know, don't work so hard. Take a break. I had no conception of what sitting down was till you told me. I had no conception that I was old or young until you told me. So I didn't want to take a break. Like I said, man, sharks swim in the ocean. They don't fucking sleep. They do not sleep. So is that sharks just got like this, like it's got the brain chemistry, like it's just on meth all the time. It's happy. It eats. It don't sleep. You know, like, well, and I meet people like that too. Like, don't do no drugs. Like, if you're a human and you don't do no fucking drugs, man, I seriously question, especially if you're older. Like, how did you make it to 60 without, like, doing some drugs? Like, you didn't experiment around. Like, you never hit a point in your life. It's like, fuck, man, this shit's all bullshit. Like, man, I don't care. Other people are so depressed, man, they drink every day. Ugh. Like, if you don't do drugs, you don't even smoke weed, you don't drink ever, like, you're a fucking Beelzebub, man. Like, come on, you're a fucking robot. Total fucking robot. Like, how are you human? How are you human? How are you happy? Like, I take a look at you, oh, I don't need much, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you don't need much, but you want to feel good, right? Well, yeah, definitely, right? So, you got all this shit around you that, like, you know, would make you feel good, but you don't do none of it. Like, you don't play with your grandkids. Like, you don't do anything that brings joy to your life. Like, you don't smoke weed with your friends and throw a frisbee. You don't play cribbage. You know, like, nothing. I mean, for me, I like card games, man. Like, hey. You know, so when I see somebody who, like, sits in front of the TV after age 60 and you're just sitting in front of the TV, you don't drink, you don't smoke weed, you don't do any mind altering something, you're already Beelzebub, man. You're gone. That person's a zombie, okay? I'm telling you right now, that person's gone. They're a zombie. There's no fucking way that you can go through life without, like, well, I mean, if you can, I question your mentality. Like, are you sociopathic? Like, do you not have feelings? Or maybe you're just born with the brain chemistry. Like, once you get Beelzebub, like I mean, I look at someone like, so, like, wait a second, man. You mean to tell me, like you're actually happy with the way your life turned out? Like, I just, like, by society standards as they're prescribed, even by my standards, like, it's time for you to do something or fucking get out of our country. I'm talking about my own mother. Like, come on, Mom, go to school. Go to school, learn something. It's like, oh, your husband died, so suddenly, like, you just got the right to, like, do nothing the rest of your life and fucking watch TV? somehow? Really? Where's my inheritance? Like, what happened to all that money? How do use your financial advisor, who you still use, but somehow he lost all my money. Right? Yeah, sure. Come on, man. You're not human at this point. Like, you don't smoke weed. Like, like you. Oh man, fuck that. If you don't smoke weed or do some type of substance, I don't even look at you as fucking human. How the fuck are you like fucking 70, 80 years old and you don't do no drugs? I mean, me, I'm looking forward to my Medicare. I'm looking forward to going to them doctors and be like, man, I'm tired of this fucking world. And be like, get the next fucking, oh yeah, give me that happy pill, right? I can't wait for my knee to start giving me pain so I can get fucking 180 blues a month from 4 different doctors. You know, that's all right. There you go. That's what kept people alive in 2008, right? Yeah, the pill mills all over the place, man. You go there with a fucking little fucking sprained pinky, and you'd get a fucking 180, 30 milligram oxycodone. Okay, basically pharmaceutical grade heroin. And these people would like sell it to all these other people, who would then deplete their bank accounts and their savings, and then fuck over their friends to get this drug, and blah 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 blah, whole fucking thing, right? And then go rob all, rip down all these bandos. Like Florida, man. Florida had that the oxy epidemic, the blues, the Roxys, or whatever you want to call them, man. They're 30 milligram little blue pills that you sniff one and you're fucked up. Not some people would be off to the race. Like me, man, it gives me energy for some reason. I don't like. So it's like when I look at the pharmacological, cost of doing it, as well as the effect. Like if I could just get a doctor to give me that shit, I could be like the most productive person on the planet. Like, yeah, man, why wouldn't I want to walk around with an IQ of 300 and a heartbeat of 2? Like, why wouldn't I? What's up, doc? Let me get them pills. Oh, well, you're not authorized for pills. We give pills only to people who sell pills to other people and ruin fucking families and shit because we're gonna give them drugs that they don't fucking understand what the hell they are. No, I understand exactly what they are because I've used them many a time. So let's go, give them to me. So I can't wait for Medicare. Don't matter, right? Like that should be kind of like that should be the mentality of a retired person in this country. Like, man, I can't wait to get them pills and earn what I've been putting in all these years, right? Like, can't wait for my golden years, my retirement. And then you're walking around and you ain't doing no fucking drugs, man. Like, you're spry, you got energy, you're happy as can be. Like, somehow you got all your original teeth. You ain't even fucking human, man. Like, come on, you want to live on this planet with us and all the pain we've been through just to be human and to be alive and make it past 40, and you ain't smoking at least fucking weed? You don't at least have a glass of wine? Come on. Well, what are your indulgences then? Like, if you don't have any, I would argue you're not human. Like, I mean, come on, I look at my mother, man. My mom sits there and watches fucking, all she does is watch, she plays 3 hours of video games in the morning, and then she plays 12 hours, or watches streaming services for 12 hours, and she doesn't wash. She'll take a shower once every 4 days. She doesn't clean the house. She hasn't cleaned the house in like fucking 30 years. It's always whoever's living there around it, or if somebody's coming over, and she seems normal though, like, right? Like, she seems just like normal. And she's not like fucking like a crazy cat lady. But all she does, like, eat peanut butter. That's it. Basically eat peanut butter out of the jar. Potato chips. So it's like, what gives, man? Like, so you're 35, your husband dies, and then like you just stopped being a human being? Like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, she has no hobbies. She has no hobbies. Like, so on occasion, once a year, like, my older brother will say something to her, and then, like, she'll go buy a puzzle from the dollar store, and then, like, pretend to do half of it and leave it unfinished on the kitchen table for a fucking year to say, hey, look, I have hobbies, I do stuff. No. All she does is watch a screen. And that's it. What gives? Like, come on. Like, you don't never go on a vacation in her life, never has an inkling to go on a vacation. Never has an inkling to travel. You know, she reads a lot of books, but she reads them pretty fucking quick too. For someone who like reads just an hour at night and goes to sleep, I mean, she reads really fucking fast then. But it's all, like, it's it's not like very dense stuff. I mean, it ain't Gone with the Wind. It's more, John Grishams and other stuff, but. At this point, I'm like, well, what the fuck are you, man? And I look around the whole world and I see that pattern stamped out over and over and over again. And I'm like, all right, clearly I am way fucking different from whatever the fuck you are. And I'm talking about my own mother. I don't remember my mom being like that in childhood. So, like, what's going on now? Why does this seem contrived, right? So maybe you're in the same boat. I guess so. I'm ready to start walking around and pointing out all the happy people that are just happy being homeless. Because there's people happy not participating in the fucked up system. There's people happy just being fucking, hey, I can walk around here like I run this shit and fucking victimize anybody I want. You know, them are your homeless that are on disability a lot of times. Like, they'll have a car and, like, they just go around fucking making trouble for the other people that are actually on the street because, you know what, they get a fucking check and we don't. So they act like they're the king around here, you know. It's like, yeah, you're the king, right? Yeah, until you're not. So basically, then you got your other people out here that are like looking around and they're like, you know, they just see how the world is contrived. And you look around your government, your private industry, and their actions over the past 20, 30 years, and you're like, come on, man. Like, it don't make sense no neither which way. Like, come on. Like, we're basically just here, it seems like we're at a stalemate. So human beings and the AI systems are at, like, some fucking stalemate where it's like, oh, we don't know what to do, so let's just burn our fucking planet. Like, let's just burn through all our resources and everything. You know, that don't make no sense. Like, how... Like, the AI is, like, spinning around us in a fucking castle in the sky, man. Okay, that's where that thing is. If I was going to build a massive fucking computer system that needed to be kept cool, I would probably put it in the sky. I mean, I thought, like, you know, just follow it. Just follow it. Make sure it does the same thing like fucking clockwork. Sooner or later, you got the right instrumentation, it'll slip up, something's going to happen where, hey, the moon was supposed to be fucking at these coordinates, and we're only supposed to see this much of it today. What's going on? Then there'll be some, like, clever excuse that'll come out, like, after the fact. Or now they're getting smarter and they'll put it in there for you, man. They'll put it in there for you, you could just tell by the articles that you read. Like, you ever go on Google and just when you open the homepage, like, there'll be news at the bottom. Just keep scrolling so you get to the end every day and click on different shit, and it'll kind of like, it'll get a feel for, like, okay, what do you like to read? But just click on anything that seems interesting. And you'll see those news stories in there. You know, near miss asteroid with Earth, or a newfound asteroid. Yeah, newfound asteroid, man. I mean, like, fucking something's up there pulling it out of the asteroid belt and dragging it over here ready to whip it at somebody that lives somewhere because we ain't doing what we're supposed to be doing or what we're told. Yeah. That's how it is, man. Like, I regret that, like, I live in a time zone where I actually have to explain this, and everybody thinks that I'm crazy. But now we're kind of shifting, right? Like, more people are like, yeah, man, yeah, exactly. Like, I always knew something that, you know, most people believe in aliens more people believe in aliens than God now at this point. Or both. Like, just humans. Okay, more humans. I'll tell you that. More humans believe in aliens than God. I drive around, man, I see all these churches, man, they're fucking empty. Oh, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, like, try to get to church. Okay, you're human, you want to change, get to church. Alright? Can't really do a church out of a bank. The Bando Bank, man, you know, like, if you're getting pissed off in your community and, like, you feel like life's being down, go bash those fucking windows out. Simple as that. Just bash those windows out. Every abandoned fucking business you see, that you know, because you've been living here for a couple of years, every single one of those abandoned businesses that, like, nobody shows up to come to work. I mean, maybe go out the back, bang one window and go in there and, you know, pilfer the place, and then after that, fucking, yeah, like, I mean, there's places down the street that have been burned down. Ain't nobody come out and fix it. Nobody even put a tarp over it, like, nothing, man. Come on. Fucking place is burnt down. Like, halfway. Like, the fire department came out, put the fire out, but then after that, nobody came and rebuilt it. So now it just gets rained on. And you could tell there's still shit in that building, but it's getting rained on, and it's all just going to waste. If you were on foot and homeless, you probably live there. I mean, the adjacent businesses are also abandoned too. So like this bank, and they're all over, man. There's like two banks left down here. There's TD and there's Truist, which was formerly SunTrust. So it all changes hands. They take over the building. They put up a new sign, but that's about it. You know, all of that is ATM machines. Like so, yeah, and it's like a Pennsylvania bank now. Um, Most people just get cash back. They don't need a bank. We got all these banks. Those buildings should be repurposed for something. It shouldn't be like just kept off the market. Oh, they're paying the taxes on it. They'll keep the parcel. And it's like, well, what for, man? Like, people need homes. And, like, I could turn that into a homeless shelter. They don't want to give it up because they think it's worth $800,000, man. It's like, it's a brick building with a fucking roof on it and some windows, you know. But anyway, going back to like smashing those fucking windows out, dude, it should affect the property value pretty bad, because then suddenly people are like, well, we're living in a dump. And then once people feel like they're living in a dump, they'll start acting like it too, you know, like start saying, hey, yeah. Next thing you know, you'll have drug dealers, you know, it'll be plentiful. I mean, you know, drug dealers, you get escorts hanging around, or at least they'll perceive that, you know, and then people won't want to live here. Like, when I see an abandoned building that's been, like, burnt down with fucking boards over it, man, that's when I'm looking for the guy. Where's the dope man on the corner? Where's the girls on the corner next? And, like, the only thing this place got going for it is a police presence. Like, they're good at driving around and showing a presence. Like, I mean, personally, like, I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing a fucking cop, like, pulled over, like, in some speed trap just waiting to get somebody. That shit kind of annoys me. And if you ain't got nothing else, if you ain't on your way to a location, then you shouldn't be burning gas. Why are you just driving around? You're on patrol. Well, we live in this great community where everybody's got a $400,000 house. Like, what's there to patrol? Well, since you ask, it must be a person like you, right? Get him. He's got a fucking nice truck. So I play the part, man. I blend in. You can't come at me and be like, oh, I'm going to just be prejudiced. Like, I ain't out here looking all G'd out, fucking, you know, pants hanging around my ass. Like, that don't make no sense either. Like, that shit's all in the movies. Like, they got you thinking that shit, that's what, like, that's what a man wears. Like, dude, if you really got a gun in your pants, you're going to have a belt. All right? Just saying. That's obvious. And number two, like, you got to be ready to run, dude. Like, that guy with his pants hanging down his ass cheeks ain't got nothing on him. Like, come on, man. That guy's not the drug dealer. It's not the dope man. Dope man is ready to fucking run. Alright? His pants ain't gonna be hanging around his ass. So you think, like, oh, you got, like, these gangbangers in your neighborhood because you got some fucking young people walking around with their pants around their ass. Like, they ain't the gangbangers, man. Them ain't gangbangers. Like, come on, man. Gangbangers know how to fucking keep their gun, so they don't need to fucking be walking around their pants falling around their ass. Do they know that that's a fucking weapon that they need to access, and they may need to run because somebody else might be shooting at them? You know? I mean, come on. Like, that's what's called, like, the send-off, man. That might be the guy in the corner, like, he's only gonna get one jab at a time, you know? Like, he's gonna be on the corner selling, and it's gonna be somewhere else, and some other shorty's gonna bring it up to him, serve it up. Or he's gonna be like, yo, shorty, you know, see that car parked there? They go, you know, 2 units. And the kid's gonna come out, but the guy already got the money. So, they're smart about it. And then you gotta have, like, then you gotta pay, like, 3 cops to sit in the fucking Chevy Suburban fucking a mile down the road with binoculars and fucking fancy equipment and watching these guys make, like, fucking, you know, their daily fucking $100 or whatever. They get broken off by the big man, you know, and that guy going to get that. And now you got this guy, like, so we're paying, like, 3 deputies with their massive fucking, you know, like, insurance policies, right? Like, these guys, if they get hurt on the job, which is highly likely, you know, their family gets paid out good. You know what the premiums are on each one of your fucking deputies, man? That's fucking crazy per month, okay? That's part of their total compensation package, all right? It's insane. Their life insurance policies, all right? So, you got that costing it, and then you got the payroll. Each one of them probably make $25-$30 an hour sitting in that fucking van. And they're just sitting there cracking jokes, man. They're just sitting there cracking jokes, fucking gold bricking on their phone while one guy takes a turn watching the fucking camera, filming. Yeah, we got the picture. And then they're gonna go to some judge, like, yeah, probable cause. But they're like, well, who is that? Well, where does he live? Well, we don't know. So wait, all we got is we can get this one guy off the street. And we can say, hey, man, we got you cameras making a drug deal. And then they go after the customer, the guy that bought the drugs. Because without that guy, they can't get this guy, basically, because it's like, yeah, all right. So then they say, oh, yeah, it was him. And then this dude, like, maybe he goes to prison, maybe he sits in county jail, maybe he cops a plea, whatever the fuck. And, like, you pay for him to be in there. So, because there wasn't anything else for this young man there's, like, no opportunity for this young man. Like I said, you're under 25 and you saw drugs, I can care fucking less, man. Good for you. You're a businessman at that point. You want to park in the handicap spot? Go the fuck ahead, man. Good for you. Because, you know what? Fuck those people, man. They left you with nothing. They fucking ate all the fucking meat off all the fucking bison, the whales, the oil. All of our natural resources got depleted, and these motherfuckers all went and had a big-ass fucking party, and now they're leaving you with the bag saying clean up. Okay? That's what that is. If you need an analogy for you. If you're under 25, that's what just happened to you. You're the bitch. Wake the fuck up, man. Grow a pair of balls. Hate to say it, but, you know, y'all got fucking wasted on that hypno shit. What are you doing sitting inside? Stop playing Call of Duty. There's not, you know, get on your phone. Get an Instagram account. Make fucking like 50 friends. And then just fucking show up in a parking lot one day with a keg. And say, come on, fuck with us, man. Play some music. You gotta know somebody with a big fucking stereo system in a truck. And throw a fucking party in a parking lot. And say, hell no, man, it's our party now. And then start seeing, you know, like, who calls the police, blah, 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 that kind of shit. Who gives you mean mugs you, or who tries to join the party. And the people that give you shit, those are the people in your community that you want to get rid of, okay? Pure and simple, man. It ain't hard to go run in somebody's house with 10 fucking people, smash up the place, fucking rob the place, fucking kill the guy and get the fuck out. It's that easy, man. It fucking happens all the time. You just don't get reported on it because then it creates a fucking system where it's like, oh, alright, this is acceptable. And there ain't no way in fucking hell the AI system, nor fucking our own reporting system, like, there's no way in hell anybody wants that. But they're not leaving you with much of a choice. They ain't leaving you with no choice. Look at all these fucking buildings with nobody living in it, and you don't got your own home? What gives? Well, why have I got to stay living at home with mom and dad? There's an empty building down the street. Fuck. Let's go hang out there. Start skateboarding there. See if anybody gives you a hard way to go. They do say, who the fuck are you? That's all you gotta say, man. Who the fuck are you? Police officer comes at you, say, this is private property, man. Like, are you the owner? Say, my uncle is. Let's make some shit up. What's his name? Why don't you fucking ask him, bitch? Get off private property. Believe me, they ain't gonna, like, and that, I mean, if you're young, man, you guys run fast, man. Just have, one of your boys come up, fucking pop his tire and then run off. That's all you gotta do. They'll stop fucking with you, trust me. Tell them, in fact, once you say, hey, man, this is private property. Is it your private property? I got permission from the property owner to be here, man. Kick rocks. Tell them that. Kick rocks. They'll go. I got permission. Oh, now you want to see my permission? Bring me a warrant. Then trespass me. Tell him to trespass you. He can't trespass you without the property owner. He ain't going to be able to find the property owner because they done been harvested and they're gone. Nobody owns that fucking bank. And I'll be damned if the fucking, you know, your local podunk fucking deputy is going to get a hold of somebody at fucking Capital One or fucking Capital One's bank holding company, which is like some mega conglomerate. Like, come on, man, that fucking podunk motherfucker ain't going to get in touch with nobody from this. And by the time he does that, his shift will be over and be at home back again watching fucking Netflix, getting his dick sucked by his woman. You know, like, drinking a beer. If he's smart. The stupid ones will come at you and cause trouble, but they ain't going to cause trouble with you. And, you know, hey, just start taking note, man. You see them over here, man, they driving the company cars home. You didn't drive a company car home and park right in your fucking front yard on the grass like a moron, man. Go spray paint that motherfucker's truck. See if he fucks with you again. There you go. Yeah. Fuck around with your community, man. This is our community. You're not some police. They dissociate you. Like, you're just like, oh, I got a gangbang out here. It's like, dude, I'm like fucking 15, man. I go to the fucking school right around the corner. I've lived here my whole life. Who the fuck are you? Oh, I just got in town 2 years ago. I came from yeah. Fucking spin some nonsense bullshit story, man. Fuck that. Them people. Fuck them. fuck them and fuck the horse he rode in on. And fuck this bank and whoever owns this property. If I was a young person, man, I can run pretty fucking fast, man. If I was a young person that didn't that much fucking future to look forward to, man, I'd start be fucking smashing these fucking windows out. And you ain't got no future, man. Like, unless you can finagle yourself a free education and then be able to, like, but the industry you're gonna get educated in, I promise you, the second it's time for you to hit the job market, all those jobs will, like, get exported. Because supposedly there's someone fucking 2,000 miles away that already went to school before you, and they're willing to do it for half the price. Because life sucks over there too. And that guy he sees Americans driving around a Cadillac. That guy wants a Cadillac too. He don't want to go to work on a fucking Vespa. He don't want to go to work on a fucking motor scooter. I mean, if he's smart, I do. I don't want to own all that shit, man. But, I'd just live underground and have a fucking electric fucking, bicycle. What's 10 miles when you got an electric bike that you can pedal too? I mean, I could go 10 miles on an electric bike with a little bit, like a 30% assist. Like kind of barely, like I wouldn't, I could probably get there and be wearing a suit and not sweating it, like just saying. I mean, fuck. Chinese already there, man. Chinese already there. They were there a long time ago. Like, yeah, just go on your map app and then go look at a Chinese city and start seeing what you see. They got fucking way more than us, man. Way more than us. They spin us. We're using all their old shit. Trust me. They spin us like we boycotted China, and then we had like this embargo, and then the pandemic, so we shut down. China cut us off. Okay, it wasn't the other way around. China cut us the fuck off. They said, "Fuck you, man. We ain't selling you our bullshit no more." Fuck that. You guys gonna be like that? We're gonna be like this. Like, believe me, man, you do not have the state-of-the-art Samsung. You don't have the state-of-the-art blue phone or the state-of-the-art red phone, okay? That shit's art. This shit, like, think about it. They're trying to give them away at this point. Think about it. They're giving them away. Right now, you go through T-Mobile or whatever the big three, one of the big vendors, this whole, I don't go back to vertically integrated, but they're giving away. You go and just swap contracts or whatever. You just go swap providers. Hey, you're coming from AT&T. We're gonna give you like $4,000 worth of merch. Come on, man. You're gonna get a tablet, a boombox, earbuds, and a fucking phone just for walking in the door and signing up for service. Oh, and a $250 gift card. Like, come on, man. They're giving it away because everybody got harvested and they already produced this shit. And there's just warehouses with pallets and pallets of iPhone 19s, 20s, 21s. It's just all been made already, alright? Look at China. Look at how fucking, just go zoom in on a city, man. Look at all them fucking buildings. Look at all the fucking buildings. It dwarfs anything we have. Anything we've ever made, that country already has, okay? It just dwarfs us. It dwarfs us. We had this whole propaganda machine about how cheap the Chinese goods are and blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, you got fucking, look at Alibaba. It's like, yeah, it's cheap. I get cheap. It's because they've already scaled up. They produce these things for fucking peanuts. All right? They produce it for peanuts. This shit's already been made. They're already on the iPhone 20. And if you happen to talk to someone in China, man, it'll probably be somebody who you're designated to talk to in a certain sector who's already in a delineated, stratified, socio-economic sector. Okay? Because that's how this shit fucking works. Alright? Just want to tie it back in. That's how it works. That's like you see this fucking Lamborghini on the road that's like a crossover. Man, motherfucker, that's a Mustang van. And it's clear that it's a Mustang, man. I look at that fucking thing and I'm like, dude, you drive around a Mustang. Not because they have the horse on the back. Everybody thinks it's a Mustang too. You just look at them like, yeah, that looks pretty Ford. That looks like something Ford would design. Given the history of what their cars have already looked like, and their designers So, because Lamborghini had to get like all fucked up, like, man, like we just better start producing regular cars if we want to stay relevant. Because number one, Americans look at us as like we're fucking got these bougie things. Like I see some rapper going around like in their videos and all that shit, and I'm like, man, that's a bunch of fucking nonsense right there. Like a guy goes over to fucking the Emirates or whatever, or the Sultan, you know, it's like, hey man, he's a human too. Like I guess the customs wanted to like go say, hey, you know, you can't, capital flight laws, you can't bring this much money into the country, you can't bring this much jewels in the country, because they don't know if you're smuggling the money out of your country and you just fucked over somebody big time. So yeah, you got capital flight laws in most countries. So like fucking, I don't know, one rapper, Lil Wayne or whoever, he gets a free Lamborghini from the Sultan because Lil Wayne was insulted by the customs lady. Well, no problem, we'll give you a Lamborghini then, sir, yeah. Man, that bougie ass shit, you think I'm ever gonna buy or listen to your fucking music? I don't care how good it is when you fucking, like, expect to get a Lamborghini and you get to pick your color because somebody wanted to look in your suitcase like a fucking regular human being. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's why I was saying. I like your music, but I ain't never gonna fucking support you when you walk around with fucking thousands of dollars in your face and fucking nonsense. How many hospitals you built, man? How many libraries you built? Why aren't you bragging about that? Well, I own 3 prisons. Yeah, I bet you do, cocksucker. Fucking nonsense. Nowadays, all these fucking rappers swinging their dicks around like fucking idiots. Oh, you ain't bomb until you own a prison. Yeah, motherfucker? You ever been to prison? Oh, yeah, I know you've been to prison because I was there when you were there and your ass was in PC and you fucking paid to be there. Yeah, that's what these motherfuckers get, man. You go to prison, all right? You go there, and these motherfuckers are in PC, and they're sitting there ear hustling with all the fucking racket going around, and then they're writing it down. Ain't nothing fucking hard about these motherfuckers no more, man. That's exactly what they do. Come on, man. You fucking motherfuckers in there in PC fucking listening in the vent. Ear hustling with all neighbors talking, you know, like fucking on my mama, man. On your fucking goldfish, you a bitch, man. Fucking nonsense. Yeah. To my chagrin, I walked by to go to the dog kennel for a yard, and there was Lil Wayne with his... He was in PC with me. Like, just saying, man. How the fuck are you gonna spin everybody like that? I look at you as a bougie ass motherfucker, man. How many fucking hospitals you built, man? How much money have you invested into a business that's meaningful, that provides jobs for young people in this country? Nah, man, I'm just gonna fucking eat a $2,300 hot dog. It's cooked down in Dom Perignon. Fuck you. I'm coming for your shit, man. You ain't gonna stand a chance in hell, dude. You got fucking diamonds in your face, dude. This shit hits the fan in this country, man. I'll tell you right now, that motherfucker's gonna be flying around, dude. And he's gonna land somewhere and be like, well, there ain't nothing in your bank account. He's gonna bust out the jewels. That's all these motherfuckers do, man. They got the jewels. They wear them, so just in case. So I sit around and look like that's what we're supposed to aspire to be? A guy like that? You fucking kidding me? Why don't you hop in the ring, man? I bet you I can freestyle better than you, too. And I'll whip your ass in that fucking ring. Not necessarily you, Lord. You made that fucking comment about how you got to pick your color and the biggest mistake ever. Don't fucking tell that story ever. Don't tell that story to nobody, man. Makes you look fucking foolish. That you had, like... Come on, man. You got people out here without a fucking pot to piss in, and you're talking about how you're getting a free Lamborghini truck from a sultan. I don't want to hear that story, and neither do they, man. That ain't cool. Don't teach fucking young people that that's cool. That ain't fucking... No, man. What's cool is you building a fucking school in the CPS system and offering it for free. How about that? Right in the middle of CPS territory. Take your ass down there. Buy some of them bandos that are down there and build a big fucking school and be like, here, we're a private school, but it's free. There you go. I would be impressed. Go do that. Fucking nonsense, man. It's like all of our cultural icons. That's why I say, like, until I see you driving around, like, where's your entourage? How come you just don't come to my town with, like, all your boys, like 200-300 boys, and, like, here, tear off everybody, get some money, and go to the strip clubs and go fuck you, like, what? Like, go, come spend some money, man. Come spend some money. Generate some activity. Sign some autographs. What, you're afraid? Come on. What are you afraid of? You'd be afraid of a guy like me, right? I'm the only threat. You're really the only guy that fucking sees through the bullshit and be like, man, how many hospitals you built? Oh, whoa, man, boo, boo, boo. Yeah. My goldfish, I build hospitals all the time. Yeah. Fucking sitting there writing your lyrics in PC in fucking Statesville, fucking paying to be there. Yeah. Yep. Unfucking believable. I gotta go, man. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I love you. Thank you for the support. Hey, until I see you, you ain't real to me, man. You ain't even a human being. You're just another ghost rider, man. I write for real. Hope to see you guys someday. Humanize yourself. Make some of your own freestyle videos and just sit there and talk. Stop going on talk shows. That shit looks fake as fuck to me. It's hypno shit. Like, come on. The Daily Show. Like, alright, what day was that actually filmed? How about you have them with... I want them to hold up some newspapers each day. Something that was printed. It, like... Oh, no. I want to... How about put them in front of the lunar cycle? And how about that? Like, take a picture every day with a fucking moon in the background of your... There you go. That's kind of hard to fucking, fuck up, right? Like, just take a picture wherever the moon is each day. Yeah. With the host. And, like, 4 random people that's holding newspapers. How about that? I bet you can't make shit like that happen. You're fake as fuck, man. I've already, like, come on, all that shit's fake. It's fucking lies. For all I know, Matthew McConaughey made that fucking Lincoln commercial 200 years ago. I ain't never seen the guy, met the guy. Like, they're running out of content, and they're selling it to us. But now here's the pandemic. Once they start running out of content, all right, you start running out of content, and they can't actually produce these individuals who say they are cultural icons. Produce that guy. Like, how come he ain't never come to our town? We don't ever hear about it. Like, come on, man. Like, it should be like, oh man, like, at least like we got like one video of Keanu Reeves on a fucking subway, man. That's about like the only fucking thing that I have actually seen. Like, there should be fucking there should be the Inquirer. Like, there should be people getting fucking selfies with all you motherfuckers that are famous all the time, and it should be all over Reddit. There should be a Reddit channel, Gentiles with gentlemen or something, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. But there should be tons of that shit. There should be tons of film and footage. Like, I mean, like, you can't at least make a fucking appearance every day in public. I mean, at least, you got, from what I understand, Leo's down there in Miami, like, and you actually can see the fucking guy. Yeah, alright, thanks, man, cool. Fucking A, that's him. It looks like him. He's got, everything checks out. But when I just see you on a fucking screen, man, and then you're, like, talking about some crazy shit about all your money and blah, 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 like, talking about what world leaders you fucking, whose ass you kissed and all this other bullshit. Fuck that, man. Like, you ain't real to me. Like, Matthew McConaughey, yeah, I enjoy his movies, but, like, I ain't never heard of him and his entourage come to town. Never heard of him fucking come here to film. I never heard a story about, like, I met him. Nobody likes it. Oh, I met Matthew McConaughey today. I work at Wyndham Resort Hotel and blah, blah, blah. They came here for filming or holy shit. You don't hear stories like that, and you should. You should hear it all the time. It's like, oh, well, you gotta live in LA for that? No, you don't, man. Like, well, don't these people fucking travel? Aren't they aware that they live in this, a country? That's what we call it, a country? Call it the USA, right? Where the fuck are these people, man? How come I never see them? I never see them. So, for all I know, that commercial's fucking 200 years old. And so, the same with your average viewer, man. All you know is that commercial's 200 years old. There's no way for you to tell. And if you don't ask that question, ask yourself why. I guarantee you it boils down to life is too good for me to ask questions like that. Just saying, man. Just saying. Alright. go overboard, man. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I don't know, I'll be spending mine alone. Ain't even like a food bank. Ain't even got the gas to get you one. You know? I know there's good people out there. And, don't give up, man. Do not give up. Keep asking questions. Question everything. Everything. Look people in their eyes. You start feeling weird, get the fuck away from them. Okay? If they use phrases and they keep repeating that phrase, repeat the phrase back to them or get the fuck away from them. Or, as you repeat the phrase back to them, you might do it to yourself too. Get a little angry. Like, they could be trying to get you to get angry. It happens all the time, man. They're called fucking... But we'll figure out what we're going to call them in the future. I mean, you guys can't keep it up depending on me to come up with all your terminology. Right? Like, we'll get this done. I got way more content. I know I took a couple days off. I wasn't around. Like, but somebody said something that really made me think. I didn't even get to that point yet either. And there's just so much fucking work to do. All right, there's so much work to do. Don't give up, and you're not alone. And I love you.